Nerdrotic.com.
The great Perry Chan. Perry Chan is awesome. Say hello to my little friend. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. No, I am not back in San Francisco. I am still in San Diego, North County in the process of my Cal exit. But I'm happy to defund San Francisco and happy to be one of the humble taxpayers fleeing that crap city. So, yes, I have a green screen going on today. Thank you, Eric K., for being here. Lady Gravemaster is producing the show. And again, Perry Chan is impossibly brilliant. Thank you for that intro, my friend. I loved it. All right, let's see who is here. What do we got going on? We've got, we should probably, let's go to that one. That should show the chat. Yeah, there we go. And we've got Chris Persia, the Canadian Wrench. We got Judicon. We got the Packin. We got Charles J. Hemphil. We got Joe Salazar. We got Preserving Light, Geek Tropology, Gotcham 30, PM5K Blast, how am I supposed to say that? Alurivians Imakara, sorry about that. Derek McManus, thank you for the super chat. I'll get to that in just a second. Sorry. I don't mean to dark side fill you here. I just had a little cough before this started. Alex Game, Bastard, and Nash McGraw, MP Meterman, Moons of Madness, Spinning Straw Comics, The Anime Slayer, and Matt Curry, and Uncle Remus. Uncle Remus is here. All right. What's up, everybody? Well, we got a lot to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to get to it all, but, and we could talk about whatever you want to talk about as well. That's just fine with me. But we're going to start out with this. We're going to start out with a little, let's make sure I'm on the right article here while everybody's rolling in. Something very interesting happened to Star Trek. It looks like they are going to put it on CBS. Season 1 of Discovery is going to CBS. That's right. I was wondering why they didn't do this in the first place. They didn't do it a long time ago. And we will finally find out, well, in a way, how many people will actually be interested in this show. And I think it has everything to do with not having a lot of content. So you're going to see the networks, the broadcast networks that are dying, start to come up with all kinds of stuff. Now, we're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss Shatner and George Takei kind of sniping at each other. We're going to also discuss the celebrities fleeing Hollywood, Hollywood being exposed, and Hollywood being at a crossroads. And everything I talk about today, aside from Shatner, will basically be about one subject. And the subject I've been hitting pretty hard on this live stream, which is Hollywood is at a crossroads. I've been talking about this since the COOF started, since the day San Francisco locked down. As a matter of fact, a couple of days prior to the lockdown in San Francisco, I heard it was going to lock down, and I did a live stream, wondering if the comic industry would survive and how this would affect Hollywood. Because we saw changes. We did. We saw definitive changes where maybe they started thinking, if we fill all of our stuff, everything with intersectional feminism and identity politics, it might be alienating a few people and it might be costing us millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars. You don't know. I could say Rian Johnson cost the Star Wars franchise $1 billion just with his attitude and his lack of talent. So I think Hollywood is at a crossroads. Get woke or go broke. I've talked about this before, and we're already seeing sports suffer from getting woke. And it will not be any different with Hollywood. As a matter of fact, it might be worse because of the coup factor and theaters. And they're in a lot of trouble, but it doesn't look like to me they're going to change their minds anytime soon, at least some aspects of it, and we'll get to that. But first, let's start with this. After plummeting viewership, numbers Star Trek boss Alex Kurtzman announces first season of Star Trek Discovery will air on CBS in September. Star Trek boss, John F. Trent, you got to capitalize that T, buddy. But John F. Trent is still a future Pulitzer Prize winner, and we love him. Announced on Twitter that the first season of Star Trek Discovery will air on CBS in September. So this is prior to season 3. Kurtzman wrote on Twitter, "Black alert," because he loves his Section 31. I got to talk like Alex Kurtzman. Black alert. Star Trek beams to broadcast and for a limited time and with special presentation of the first season and of CBS All Access, Star Trek Discovery, and coming to CBS Network and beginning September and 24 and at and 10, 9, and Central. So this will be the first time an entire first season of Star Trek Discovery will be behind CBS All Access. That won't be behind CBS All Access paywall in the United States of America. CBS previously aired the first episode of Star Trek Discovery for a limited time on YouTube. It also aired it on CBS. John, unless you mention it here, they aired the first episode on CBS, and I think it had 8 million people watching. Because the ratings were up on TV series finale up until a few months ago, and now they're gone. I can't find them. The first season aired beginning in September 2017 and concluded 15 episodes later in February 2018. While show wasn't available in the United States outside of CBS All Access, it did air in Canada on CTV. According to Numeris, the first episode topped the charts in Canada, viewership of 2.2.79. By the 14th episode, the show was airing on Space and only had 938,000 viewers. In its final episode, the show did not even break the top 30 viewed shows in Canada. PYC 2018 Primetime was the least viewed show in the top 30 with 927,000 viewers. That means Discovery had less than 927,000 viewers by the season's end. That means the show lost at least 1.347 million viewers in the course of 15 episodes. That's almost a 60% loss in the audience from the season premiere. Not only did the show bleed viewers in Canada, but it received poor audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. The first season currently is at 51% audience score from an 8,471 ratings. It has an average rating of 2.95 out of 5. The show seemed to fare better with IMDb users. The lowest rated episode of the first season was episode 8, Si Vis Pacem Parabellum, or whatever, I can't speak Latin, with a 6.8. The show included the second season, currently has a 7.3 rating on IMDb. Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery would follow the ratings of the finale of Season 1. The premiere episode would not appear on Numeris Top 30 chart for its premiere week. The lowest ranked show was America's Got Talent, The Champions, with 978,000 viewers. The second episode would fail to chart with viewership below the Titan Games, which had 940,000 viewers. The season finale would also fail to chart in April, falling below the Blacklist, which had 816,000 viewers. The second season will receive even worse audience score than the first one on Rotten Tomatoes. It came in at 36% from 2,572 users. Now, that is about 6,000 ratings less than the previous season, showing that most people just didn't care. Most people just checked out. And what you have with Star Trek now is the hardcore fans who just cannot stand it but can't let it go, yours truly, and want to continue to chronicle its demise, and then the people who will just love anything you serve up Star Trek. It had an average rating of 2.33 out of 5 stars, and I think Lower Decks is at 35%, and Picard, the audience score started out at 86. I think it's in the 50s now On IMDb, the second season would also see 2 episodes receive a 6.5 score from the users. That was the lowest score in the entire season. Those 2 episodes were Episode 3, Point of Light, and Episode 5, Saints of Imperfection. It's probably no coincidence the debut of the first season of Discovery will air on CBS just a few weeks before the 3rd season airs on CBS All Access on October 15th, 2020. Now, they are rebranding CBS All Access as well. It's not hard to imagine that Viacom, CBS, and Kurtzman are attempting to find an audience to show after the first season saw over 1 million people in Canada vacate the series in just the first season, and the second season failed to even chart in the top 30, with the finale having at least less than 816,000 viewers. What do you make of the move to broadcast for Star Trek Discovery on CBS? Well, Spock. No, I can't do Kirk. Desperation. They are looking for an audience. This has been a constant information war that we've been waging here on YouTube. Yes, it's kind of pointless. CBS, Viacom, CBS put so much time into covering Kurtzman's ass when it would be easier just to start anew at this point. It's too late, though. It's too late. Honestly, Star Trek is aging out. The cartoon that they're airing isn't going to bring in any new viewers. I don't know what their logic was behind it. Again, you make a cartoon parody if you have something successful. If it's not successful, then why do you do it? Well, they're just running it up the flagpole to see who salutes. And I've been, because of the move, I've fallen behind on my reviews for Star Trek Lower Decks, and I'm not that inspired to do them. I did one on my Super Chat Square Up on Nerdrotic Live if you want to check it out later. And then I'll do my Episode 3 review. I will say that Episode 3 was probably the best thing Kurtzman Trek has produced, and it still wasn't good. It wasn't funny. It was just like an average, semi-competent episode of television that was a cartoon. Okay, if that's what you're going to run with, if that's what you're going to say, well, Star Trek is back, baby. No, this is the 4th season of a Kurtzman Star Trek show, and you finally got a competent episode that wasn't horrifically bad. It's not enough to move the needle with me, though. It really isn't. So I don't know what you say about Star Trek anymore. You're just squabbling over the ashes at this point, and I think it just plays into the larger picture that Hollywood is in this position where they absolutely are going to bend the knee and go woke when they know this time they know it's against their better judgment. Before, I can at least argue that they thought they were right. Now, they were deluding themselves by thinking going completely woke and alienating large portions of your audience would work in any way, shape, or form. But now they know they have the data, and they're going to do it anyway. And this is, the phrase "get woke, go broke" exists for a reason. You go ahead and do these things anyway because you think it's the path of least resistance. It's appeasement. It's straight up appeasement. And this whole narrative is built on a lie. The lie that anybody, left of Stalin or right, or not, I'm getting that all wrong, but anybody who's centrist, anybody who's a classic liberal, anybody who's on the right is just this demon. And if you show them any love whatsoever, you're going to be labeled an ist or a phobe. And I mean, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now, and that's the only reason they choose the other side, path of least resistance. It's not that they generally care about any of your causes. Right now, it's minimizing losses. It's not even about profit anymore. It's minimizing losses and trying to survive the coup, which would be easily survivable if you weren't political. Hollywood would be blowing up right now. So you've had this captive audience for months, and streaming services should be blowing up right now, and they're not. They're just flat out not. And also they don't have any they decided to run out with the streaming services and not have anything to put on them. That's a problem. And, Netflix was the king until they decided to shoot themselves in the foot and market something horribly. That's something that if they just didn't talk about it, nobody would have even noticed it. And it ended up losing them thousands, millions of subscribers, all for a virtue signal that they got completely wrong, by the way. And as I stated in my 2 videos, and I'm kind of done with the cuties thing, but if you contextualize Padawans, even if you're calling out contextualizing Padawans, you're still doing it. And there are all kinds of ways you can sneak in what the Fredos want while pretending to call it out or saying you're calling out. I'm not saying you're pretending or anything. Yeah. So Star Trek, I can't even muster like hate for Lower Decks because it's not like Discovery's offensively bad. So is Picard. It does damage to the IP, to the franchise. Lower Decks it's nothing. It's just nothing. It'll be forgotten at some point. How Kurtzman still sticks around? Well, this is Hollywood, folks. That's the rule, not the exception. You fail upward. He kisses all the right asses. He says all the right things. And it doesn't really matter if you have talent or not. If you have somebody big like Jar Jar vouch for you, which is basically like having Spielberg vouch for you, and then you worked with Sam Raimi, although none of it rubbed off, you get a gig for a long, long time. But when he's done destroying Star Trek, I can't imagine Kurtzman will get work outside of like CSI Barstow or something like that. Which, if they actually did a CSI Barstow, they would probably have a pretty good show. It would be, you think Breaking Bad was bad in Albuquerque. Go to Barstow, man. Whew. There's nothing but meth labs over there. For real. Eric K., thank you again for joining. Let's see the other wrenches who are here. I saw Chris Persia too. Always here, Eric K., on my weird schedule. Yeah, the Nerdrotic Nooner will be at a regular time once this office is done. I hope to be done by the 1st. I have started, and I want to surprise you all. So that's why this is the old office too. This was like my first setup up in San Francisco. It looks okay. You can see a little. Can you see a little green screen at all? No, doesn't look. Here, let's look at the whole picture. Cool. Right on. All right. I'm going to probably save it for my video. Of course, what has been dominating my life is been the Cal exit, and it just came out. Actually, your boy Zach from Comics Matter emailed me an article which inspired me to finally finish the video. I've actually done it twice and shit-canned it, and I'm going to do it this time. There's an article that came out in the Chronicle, on CBS, on the local CBS channel in San Francisco. Over half the businesses in San Francisco have closed permanently. So over half. Only 46% of the businesses in San Francisco remain open to this day. So that's 1,300 small businesses wiped off the face of the map in 6 months for nothing. For nothing. And we're just letting it happen. It's very difficult not to talk about. It's very difficult not to talk about. Mrs. Nerdrotic's doing good. She's actually on her way back up to San Francisco to go get some more stuff and go see Nerdrotic the Tall, see how he's doing, and get our house ready for sale. And that process is going to take a while. The new digs are cool, man. They're cool. Unfortunately, I can't stay here forever. Although I do like San Diego North County is going to open back up in about 4 or 5 days. I think Monday it opens up and I can go into a gym. There's a drive-in movie theater here, by the way. Well, close, about a half hour away. I'm going to go to as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Little freedom, because freedom isn't free. Bearded Warrior for £5. Have you been copyrighted for the clip Zero Sound with no longer than 20 seconds? CBS are consistently doing that for me. I don't know what to do. As far as CBS clips, well, we'll find out with my Picard review, because I use all my clips are under 9 seconds. Actually, most of them are under 5 seconds. And they're not supposed to get you for that. No, CBS will get you for anything. If they want to get you for I think Mecca said she was hit for a still one time. I was hit for a still with Warner Brothers, but not, CBS is bad though. They're not as bad as Warner Brothers, but they're bad. Both my trailer reactions, I demonetized them before they were done processing, and they were claimed by, I don't know how you can claim something that you're not monetizing. But I watched my trailer reaction and it's filled with commercials. So that, it's profitable to claim. It's profitable, and CBS needs money. Now, I've shown you guys a couple of times, you've gone to the YouTube channel, CBS All Ass, and you've seen that they've had short treks up, and they've had to embed them into articles to even get the views up to a semi-less pathetic level than they're still at. But what you do with that, you have to either speed up or slow down the clip. You have to crop it, and that still doesn't work all the time. They're getting very, very good at this stuff. That's why you haven't seen my Umbrella Academy review, because I have not found a way around the copyright gods, and I have to have clips in it, or it's like not even worth it. Have a toonie for the nerdy noonie. Oh, no good. Thank you for the 2 Canadian pesos. And again, thank you, Perry Chan, for that freaking brilliant opening. And Derek McManus, thank you for the super sticker for 99 cents. And Alfred McKay, thank you for the super sticker for $1.99 Canadian. Now, let's go to the BBC. Let's just get right to this BBC article, because it is something else, man. We're going to have to go to kind of a rightish place, but I go to plenty lefty places, so we're going to have to go to a rightish place for this article. Please forgive. But it's the only one that kind of says things for how they are. And I got to get over there real quick. I thought I had it up. So the BBC apparently doesn't think they're woke enough. They don't think they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough. So, here we go. I might have to move that over. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. All right. So we've got BBC vows to make diversity absolute priority, else television industry may face collapse. And this comes off the heels. Somebody sent me an article of Russell T. Davies calling out Disney Plus for not being LGBTQ plus enough. Are you serious, man? RTD, I love you, brother, but what? The BBC must make so-called diversity its absolute priority, or else the UK television industry will collapse, the broadcaster has claimed. So this is, to me, this sounds like a new narrative, because I can't imagine the BBC getting more woke. I say that, but it probably will. And when I tell you Doctor Who is dead, it's dead. It's dead, Jim. It ain't coming back. There is no chance in hell. Even if they brought, for one, I don't want them to bring back Tennant. I don't want them to bring anybody back. Not in this environment, because we might Picard Tennant, and that's the last thing I want in the world. The broadcaster has claimed. BBC Director of Content Charlotte Moore told the Edinburgh TV Festival that diversity, both on screen and off screen, I don't think there has ever been more important. I'm screwing that up. I don't think it's ever been more important to the BBC. If we do not reflect the nation that we are making our programs for, I really do think that within the industry, as well as on screen, then I think we have all failed, she said. Well, you've all failed. I'll agree with you there. I think you've already failed, but, And I think a lot of the country does as well. Unless the corporation makes diversity an absolute priority. Oh, I got you. It was only a priority. It has to be an absolute priority. And, in the grand tradition of British bureaucracy, there's probably been staff meetings, memos buried in soft peat for 3 days and recycled as fire lighters, sent in, sent out, and then they made some more. And now it's an absolute priority. It will not be able to meet the challenges of the next few years. So who has created these challenges? Because these challenges have been created. These aren't naturally occurring challenges. These were deliberately planned challenges. Moore claimed, adding, to be honest, that'll be a first. It would, if we don't do it, I literally don't think the television industry, she's going to talk like a Southern California now. I literally don't think the television industry in this country will survive. It's not going to survive anyway. And what do they, when you get woke, go broke, what is the commonality with everything that is got woke and then got broke? Doubling down, tripling down. So the BBC is faced with losing their television license. One of their biggest shows, both of their biggest shows have gone to shit. Okay, Top Gear has gone to shit. That was the biggest show in the world. It was on in the most countries, on the most screens on the planet just a few short years ago. Everybody watched Top Gear. People who didn't give a shit about cars watched Top Gear. Doctor Who was one of the bigger genre shows on the planet. And because of the diversity and inclusivity edict that they put down, meritocracy stopped mattering and entertainment stopped mattering. So what are they going to do now? They're going to go out in a blaze of glory, I guess. Listening to a little Bon Jovi there. I mean, God, Doctor Who season 3 oh my God. I'm pre-cringing. For Doctor Who season 13. I say 3. I meant, third season of Jodie. Ugh. To be honest, oh God damn it. Sorry, I started out in the wrong place. Illustrating the BBC's effort to push more so-called diversity, Moore listed a number of recent dramas in which white people are heavily... Am I reading that right? Hang on. Because it says white people are heavily underrepresented, including I May Destroy You, Knots and Causes, and Suitable Boy, and Small Axe, according to the Radio Times. I think they meant overrepresented. I don't think... yeah. So illustrating the BBC's effort to push more so-called diversity, Moore listed a number of recent dramas in which white people are heavily underrepresented, including I May Destroy You, Knots and Causes, and Suitable Boy, and Small Axe, according to Radio Times. White candidates, and this is an older tweet, white candidates banned from applying for a job at the BBC where ethnic minorities are overrepresented. And that's from like 2017. These shows have taken a long time to reach the screen, but I hope they show the real commitment and direction of travel. So did she mean to say white people are underrepresented, purposefully underrepresented? That's a weird way to say it. I'm confused by that whole statement. Before pointing to the BBC's new quota promise to ensure people from diverse communities comprise at least 20% of all off-screen employees. Moore continued, really, the big change there isn't just the money, well, that's for sure, that we have committed because we probably have spent that sort of money on shows that are about diverse issues. It's the target behind the camera, the 20% behind the camera that I really hope will set a seismic change. While Moore, who has worked at the BBC since 2006, insists the diversity means reflecting the demographics of the nation, LGBTQ people and ethnic minorities are already hugely overrepresented in the UK television industry, as Breitbart London has previously reported. And they have some data on that. I don't know. A major survey published earlier this year revealed that 23% of the people who appeared on screen are a BAME. There's a BAME, black and minority ethnic, compared to their estimated 14% share of the general population. Okay, not surprised there. And again, just because you have to say it for some people out there, don't care really who's behind the screen. As long as you're talented, I don't care where you like to put your junk, what kind of junk you have, what skin color. Don't care. I don't play those games. I just know Doctor Who sucks. And you know what? The guy at the helm is a white guy. A confidential staff survey in 2018, meanwhile, found that LGBT workers were overrepresented about 5 times at the BBC. Well, I mean, yes. But maybe they just came out. I don't know. While it praised the very, very high portion of the LGBTQ staff, which included 417 transgender people. That's like all the transgender people in the UK. They all work at the BBC. I'm only kind of kidding there. The corporation claimed that there's a lot more to be done. Yes, there's still white guys there. You haven't gotten rid of all of them yet. Work to combat the I was waiting for this. Vowing to work to combat the heteronormative culture at the BBC workplace. Heteronormative culture. You mean culture. You mean like breeders. Heteronormative. There were calls to boycott and defund the BBC earlier this week after the broadcaster revealed it would be airing orchestral versions of Rule Britannia and Land of Hope and Glory at Last Hope of the Proms. The move came after Black Lives Matter activists and campaigners alleged that the lyrics of the popular patriotic songs were racist. Well, they're getting it from both sides. I mean, you can defund the BBC. So they're faced with the license fee being phased out, which is a good thing. They're faced with shitty programming. And they're faced with their biggest show falling apart, but they're going to double down. Okay. I mean, like, we're just going to watch this happen then. The thing is, broadcast television is dying. Now, the viewing habits in the UK are obviously different in the US. The US has been cord cutting for quite some time. So we're leaving broadcast television behind. It's going to be non-existent or not that prevalent in the very near future. But the UK still watch their TV a lot overnight, on average, more than your average American does. So you'll see, that's why, when Jodie first appeared, 10 million people watched that. There wouldn't be 10 million people watching that in the United States ever, even if it was on a network that people actually watched besides BBC America. Because BBC America, for the longest time, was just Next Generation reruns and Doctor Who reruns. And the occasional show from the BBC, they throw on, would they do Sherlock? Sherlock was on PBS most of the time. BBC, I'm not surprised at all. Are you? I'm not. That's That's the BBC for you. What's interesting is they say all this, but they have been trying like hell to get Classic Who fans back. They are doing everything to get Classic Who fans back, including Time Lord Victorious, which is, it must not be about the Doctor because the Doctor isn't a Time Lord. The Time Lords appropriated the Doctor, who was a little black girl found abandoned. And what kind of a message does that send, by the way? Where were her parents? What are you saying? Like, if all abandoned kids are going to be black kids? BBC? Yeah. And then you had a woman, like, ooh. Do I want to go there? I don't think I want to go there. No, I don't want to go there. If you have a woman killing children over and over again, like they did in The Timeless Child, I think there's an allegory there. I think there's some messaging there. Yeah, I think there is. Goonsy, welcome to the Geloja level. Nicholas Horton and Jason C., thank you for the phallic unicorns for $1.49 and £1.49. Welcome, all my Brits. How are my Brits doing? It feels like I haven't talked to my Brits in a long time. Yeah, it looks like, cross your fingers, we're going to be opening up. Like, we're going to slowly be opening up. And that big second wave, I don't know if it's coming or not now, because the engineers of our lives, the grand architects, might have found out that they overreached a little bit, and it might be antithetical to their cause to keep people locked down as much as they love to, but they're not going to relinquish those rights anytime soon. But it looks like things might be opening back up. And if that's the case, and I can get on a plane, I'm going to go to the UK before I move, because I had a trip planned this October. I was supposed to go out there, and I want to go out there. And I am not afraid to go on a plane. Well, I mean, I hate flying, but I'm not going to not fly because of the coof. I'm just going to, just be in terror the whole time because I hate flying. Odaku DD for $5. Gary, do you have any response to Anti-Trekker's video recently saying you and DC are just chasing hate views recently? Did he mention me? I was told he didn't mention me, but, okay. So yes, I do. Anti-Trekker made a video just like that a couple of months ago, or if not a month ago. And my response to that is always, worry about your own channel. Don't worry about my channel. My channel's doing okay. Anti-Trekker gets frustrated because he has, he doesn't listen. His growth on his channel is stymied. I have tried to tell him a few times how he could fix that easily, and he hasn't listened yet. And it has nothing to do with it has everything to do with making videos. Doesn't matter what the videos are about. He doesn't have to go after identity politics or any of that stuff. All he has to do is like review Star Trek episodes or something like that, and unlist your live streams and quit complaining about other channels. And every couple of months, when you get frustrated with your channel, lash out at other YouTubers. I don't know. That might be the best way to go. Michael. Yeah, Michael's his own worst enemy. Jake D, thank you for the phallic unicorn for $1.49. Andrew Hoyle for £5. Mikey Spock and Kurtzman are just a big bag of bollocks. They are. Jason C. and Alex Kemp, thank you for the phallic unicorns for $1.49 and Australian $1.49. So yeah, that's my official response to Michael. Worry about your own channel, man. But as far as like what did he say now? Response to Andrew recently saying that you and DC are just chasing hate views. I think he called Doomcock a liar. I think Doomcock will probably take issue to that. I take issue to that, but he is entitled to his opinion. I do not smack down other YouTubers. I would be happy to give him some positive advice to maybe get his channel going. But ultimately, it's up to Michael. And people have to engage with Michael and like Michael for his channel to grow. And he should be much bigger, because he was on the trajectory. He had the right thing, but yeah, I don't know what happened. Well, I do, but I'm not going to get into it. Thank you, Jake D, Jason C, and Alex Game. I appreciate you guys. Alien Matters, season 1 of Star Trek Discovery going to CBS. The quest for more money. Yeah, they got to get some money out of it, and that's ultimately what it is. Is that Star Trek has cost them so much money. They have to do this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they dump it all on broadcast television and start dumping it on YouTube so they can monetize it and ramping up the copyright strikes again. That'll probably be the case. All right, the next thing we have to talk about, the MCU. Yes, the MCU. A phrase, well, I'm going to call it. I coined it a long while ago. It's okay. You can use it whenever you want. I don't need credit. I really don't. It's free for everyone to use. It started out because I was going to call it the MBRU, and then I'm like, no, the MCU is better. So, but it is the MBRU, and we have a casting rumor for back on August 8th. There was a casting rumor. Where is it? I'm going to just go with the Bounding in the Comics article. So MovieWeb had a rumor about 2 weeks ago that America Chavez, Miss America herself, the almost living embodiment of SJW Marvel, would be making her first appearance in the MCU, not a Disney Plus series, the MCU. But it was just a rumor at the time. Well, that rumor has been corroborated mostly. We're going to say 80%. This is probably going to happen. The sad part about this is it's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. The good news is it's probably only a cameo. But the bad news is it tells you definitively what direction they're going in. And by the way, Kevin Feige has not wavered on this once. This is the direction the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going in. The MCU. Do not doubt it for a second. And for one, Kevin Feige has this the right term? He has carte blanche. He can do whatever the fuck he wants right now because he's coming out. He is considered the architect. He really isn't. He had a lot of help, but he's considered the architect of the greatest franchise ever created now. Marvel, bigger than Star Wars. Star Wars didn't have 20 movies, 21 movies that were all successes to varying degrees. All of them were successes. That's unheard of. It'll never happen again. And it was quite a run. But what was the consistency? They pretty much stayed with the spirit of each character. They have make mistakes like Hawkeye didn't look like Hawkeye, blah, blah, blah. But they stayed within the spirit of the character, and they didn't fill their films full of identity politics. They were fun. They had the fans in mind. There was a lot of passion involved in the beginning, and it was a good, fun thing. It wasn't perfect. I know DCEU fans hate the shit. I would say the MCU is 50%. It's 50% mediocre films, or no, I would say 70% mediocre films with some great films in there, and a couple of duds. Ant-Man, Wasp and Ant-Man and Captain Marvel were pretty bad. And I'm not a fan of the Spider-Man movies either, but they're hits. I'm not going to deny that they're absolute hits. So Kevin has said that he is going to take this direction. It's going, the future is female, inclusivity and diversity. We've heard all these terms that mean intersectionality will be in the MCU. and general wokeness will be in the MCU. Identity politics will be in the MCU. They've already gotten rid of 2 of their white male leads. They're going to get rid of the 3rd. Hemsworth has 1 more movie. Cumberbatch will probably be around for 1 or 2 more. They might keep him in for a little while. But Brie Larson will be leading the Avengers. Brie Larson. She will be leading Spider-Man around while he's still around. Sony will eventually get rid of Peter Parker and replace him with Miles Morales. America Chavez will be making her debut supposedly in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this will open the door for the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and all kinds of wokeness with the all new, all different Marvel. And the X-Men and the Fantastic Four probably not going to look like they did in the comic books. An audition tape allegedly leaked from the casting sessions of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has confirmed that America Chavez will appear in the highly anticipated sequel. Now, if you guys haven't seen it, I hope it's still on Yellow Flash's channel. If it's not, I don't know if you can share the link. We did a reading of America Chavez #1. We kind of EFAP'd the comic book on his channel. It was a good time. It was a hoot. And Az was there, and Raging Golden Eagle, and yours truly, and Tug, and Yellow Flash, and it was a good fucking time. So find that live stream if you can. An appearance by Chavez in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been rumored for quite some time, and this is true. She was rumored to get a Disney Plus show, which I still think she'll get. And I think that's where a lot of the all-new, all-different Marvel is going to go. But remember, the streaming service will be the priority from here on out. Last year, it was rumored that a Disney Plus series, like I just said, based on the dimension hopping, I thought it was... never mind. Dimension hopping heroine was in the early stages of development. In January 2020, a leaked casting call sought a teenage Hispanic female to play a supporting lead in the Doctor Strange sequel, which led to rampant speculation that the film would feature Chavez's big screen debut. It's going to feature a lot of people's big screen debuts. And yeah, the disappointing thing is it's Sam Raimi's movie. God damn it. It still could be good. I think having Scarlet Witch in it is random and it feels forced, like they feel like they need to have a female co-lead to make up for the white male lead. As a matter of fact, that's exactly why they're doing it. They put Scarlet Witch in there so it would balance out the white male lead that they feel guilty about. Chavez's appearance has seemingly moved from speculation to reality as a new video appears to confirm that the dimension-hopping lesbian portal puncher character will show up in the next phase of Marvel films. In the recently leaked video, a 13-year-old actress, I'm not going to show her face, named Lily, reads a scene wherein the character is interrogated by an unknown agency before explaining to them the concept of the multiverse. Number one, whoever the mother of this child is, get your kid out of Hollywood. Don't let your kid act in Hollywood. Have her do something else. It might crush her for a little while. She'll be much better off in the long run. Just an opinion. I will not show her face. She is young. Yes, in this audition tape, but sorry, not going to do it. She is interrogated in the scene, and she explains the multiverse. And America Chavez would know the multiverse. Of course, she comes from the Ultimates timeline, and I remember her character. I remember her first popping up, and I didn't think much of her back then because they didn't write her woke, so it didn't really matter. She was kind of a there character. Didn't know where it would lead to. Of course, Gabby Rivera's now fucking, this is like stuff of legend. Gabby Rivera's America Chavez. I mean, Captain Marvel gets a lot of credit for SJW Marvel and the beginnings of Comicsgate. But America Chavez was the foundation of the beginning of Comicsgate. You had a lot of good roasting, some of the best roasting on YouTube to this day. Just Some Guy, Englentine, I Love Comics, made a living off it for a little while and did a great job. So,
America Chavez is coming. Is she going to bring down the MCU by herself? Absolutely not. It's just a cameo. But it's more evidence. It's actually collectively what's going to bring down the MCU. As always, death by 1,000 paper cuts. We've got, so as I mentioned in my trailer reactions for DC, got a great reaction to the Batman one, by the way. Thank you all for chiming in. And I'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. But bring it. Just bring it. Some of the comments, though, I think we're going to read some on Friday night. They're so good. Where was it? Okay. So she's not going to bring down the MCU. It's going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. And the MCU has lost its momentum. I'm not the first one to say this, obviously. We all see it. All right. So Endgame was a bookend. It was flawed. It was preceded by the shitty Captain Marvel. And then they had this big break that they didn't plan for. And then when they come back, we're going to get Black Widow, which will at best be a decent movie, Winter Soldier light, about a dead character that's really not going to move the plot of the MCU forward. And that's going to be the first MCU movie to do that. I would argue Captain Marvel might have been the first. It didn't move you didn't need Captain Marvel at all. You could have told that story in a flashback in Infinity War. It did more damage. It killed Nick Fury. But unless they're going to somehow save her, or but the most it could do is provide some context or background, or it could provide more background to the character of Tony Stark that we didn't know. And we'll find out that he was actually responsible for a lot of this. It's a way to retcon and screw up more white male characters, which, by the way, I did a video on that a year ago because there was some talk that they're going to have some scenes in Black Widow that are going to show Tony Stark in not a very good light. So that's coming. That's coming. And then we have the Eternals, which we haven't seen a single frame of yet, but they've shot a lot of it. We don't know much. It's not going to look like Jack Kirby's Eternals, but two guys might kiss in it. So it's got that going for it. So DC's got this great opportunity right now to come in and just take over for Marvel. And I hope they do. I truly do. I do. But as far as this is concerned, it just tells you the direction they're going in. This is more evidence. And I wasn't going to talk about it until, it was this article put up by Donald Edmonds, but through John F. Trent's Bounding into Comics, that gave us, that showed that the rumor's happening. So the fact that she's showing up tells me everything I need to know. Is the character itself going to bring down the franchise? No, but she's going to be one of many, many. And the X-Men, when they do arrive, and they could, maybe sneak in through this movie or others. We've heard a lot of rumors. It sounds like Ghost Rider might be in Blade. That's cool, but what are we going to get? It's 2020, and this is based on 2019 stuff. So, are they going to be called the X-Men? Are the Fantastic Four going to look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four? Well, the answer will probably be no for both. So, listen, you feel like you might be getting mixed messages. You're not. Hollywood isn't wavering. Now, 2019, towards the end, it felt like we were making headway. It felt like we were making progress as far as just starting to be entertainment. Hollywood remembering that it's not the influence industry, it's the entertainment industry. And it looked like Star Wars was waking up a bit. I can't say that for Star Trek or Doctor Who, but we saw other signs. We saw signs in the comic book industry that they were kind of getting serious, and maybe they wanted to turn around and make, more evergreen material, stuff that's actually going to sell and stick around for a little while. And I do believe the COOF sped everything up, and we were going in a very positive direction. We were going to go back to meritocracy and being concerned about making money and making the fans happy and then it all ended. See, when the peaceful protesting started and ended, and then the rioting and the looting fired up and continues to this very day, that changed it all for Hollywood. Hollywood wants to believe it's 2016 again, and they're going to do everything in their power to want to believe that. Now, earlier in the live stream, I said, I think Hollywood, there was at least logic behind their thinking. I don't agree with it, but there's a logic behind their thinking of going the route of woke. I think they thought the country was turning that direction. And instead, they misread the tea leaves because the country had been in that direction for a cycle. And it was time for the cycle to change. Now we're in the middle of a completely different cycle, a completely different trend. And Hollywood, for the first time in its history, is absolutely resisting it. Not just ignoring it, they're resisting it. And they're going to do what Disney does. Disney likes to create the illusion of success. CBS tries that too, but they suck at it. And they are not going to change their ways. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to enjoy my entertainment, but it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very difficult because it's impossible now to separate the politics from Hollywood. Not just hard, it's impossible. I'm not watching a single thing, a single frame of anything, and I'm going to see somebody and I'm going to go, that person tweeted support for rioting and looting. We just had a celebrity do it today. Hang on. Let me find it. Because I'm forgetting her name. And I shouldn't. I used to like her a lot too. It wasn't Amber Tamblyn. I know that. It was just here. Oh boy, that's even worse. I don't even want to read that one. Yeah, there it is. I love how far left actress Elizabeth Banks, and I know what they're trying to do because they anytime somebody is like even center or right, they're called far right. So far left actress Elizabeth Banks on Kenosha, we all know it happened, and she showed support and these tweets when she leaves out and omits evidence of the case. She fans the flames of division, and actors and actresses are doing it to this very day, and this is having a direct result on our economy. It's affecting our businesses. It's affecting our personal lives. And when they are using their influence to bring down the middle class, basically, all in support of an election that they don't even fucking understand because they are meat puppets. They are adult pretenders. They are some of the dumbest people on the planet. And who don't understand like how great of a gig they have. I pretend for a living. I make believe for a living. Or if you're a producer and director, you're somebody who helps somebody make believe or pretend. And you get paid obscene amounts of money for it, which I don't have a problem with at all. I'm all for it. But they're so fucking ungrateful. Or they're full of shit. I think there are ones like Elizabeth Banks who are just fucking dumb, who don't understand how dumb they sound, and they don't care because they're trying something they haven't tried much, and that's thinking for themselves, going off script, and it's very difficult for them. And then there's the evil ones, the disingenuous ones, like the Alec Baldwins, who I'm looking at right now. Who, you know what, when people see you, even people who might agree with you, and they see you out there bitching about anything, when you're bitching about that thing from your $6 million mansion, or you're one of your $6 million mansions, or you're fleeing Hollywood because the heat has gotten a little high in the kitchen, but you fan those fucking flames, you assholes. And now we're left with the consequences. And California has a bad fucking rap because it deserves it, but we're all not a bunch of insane idiots here. We're not. There is huge portions of this state that have no control over their destiny because the cities control the state. We're a big fucking state, and we are completely controlled by Sacramento and Silicon Valley at this point. Not LA, not Hollywood. They lost their influence. They actually don't matter. The only thing they do is root on idiots, and sometimes they see them on Twitter. And when Elizabeth Banks, the director of Charlie's Angels, chimes in on an event that happens here that's extremely divisive with her freaking horrible bleach job, by the way. I mean, I don't know who she paid to have this done. You're not seeing the picture, but look at those roots, honey. They look terrible. Yeah. Or we have Billy Porter. Billy Porter, who's a huge star now, a massively huge star. I don't like the guy, but he's a massively huge star. He's a gay black man. And he says our country is a mess. We're in this mess because of whiteness. Because of whiteness. This rich black man who's got a lot more money than I'll ever have because he can sing and dance. This country, maybe it is. Maybe we're giving people who can sing and dance too much fucking money because they can't do much else. They can't do much else. So that crossroads we're in, Hollywood's already made its choice, and all the evidence is there. And as much as I'd love for things to be united again, and that's what I was trying to argue for 2 years, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly of pop culture here. And it looks like we were making some progress because we're going, hey, and listen, this is the argument we all made all last year, which was all about the fandom menace, we just want to enjoy Star Wars together. And we don't want Star Wars to be exclusionary. But Star Wars are they going to continue down that path? And we'll talk about it in a second. I don't know. I don't think they know either, because it looks like they're changing their mind for the 15th time. But there's a group of ladies who don't feel like they're comfortable being Star Wars fans. So they're going to make a group. What does that sound like? The Gray Order? Sounds like the Gray Order to me. Do they have merch? Are they going to come out with merch right away? Let's go to some super chats. See what you guys are saying. Gary's Shoe Shine Station, which is brilliant. The house I'm in has a shoe shine station. It's very toxic. It's very masculine, and I'm going to shine my Dr. Martens. And you know what? I know you think Dr. Martens and you think of some goddamn Portland SJW now. We're going to discuss that in a moment. I'm going to set the record straight because there is a video out there that I was reminded of a couple of days ago that's just brilliant, which I might show. It's from a banned YouTuber, though, but I might show it anyway because it makes a lot of fucking sense, because me and that banned YouTuber come from the same scene. We come from the same scene. I don't need new media. I've got BSG, Babylon 5, Andromeda, Farscape, and several other older sci-fi series I have yet to still get into. Hail mods. Hail to the mods. Farscape is great. I think I watched a couple episodes of Andromeda. Didn't think much of it. Babylon 5 I need to watch, and Battlestar Galactica is great. Yes. No, there's plenty of old entertainment to enjoy, and I don't know if I'll be able to enjoy a second of new entertainment. And I think a lot of you feel that way too. So what do you think is going to happen to Hollywood when they come back? When you are comfortable enough to go back to a movie theater? Wait a minute. You need to feel comfortable to go back to a movie theater, right? Am I correct? Now, I'm not going to shame you if you're, worried about the beer bug. That's up to you to get over that fear. Eventually, you're going to have to get over it because it's not going away, and it's not as bad as they said it was. It's just not. So we need to get over our fear collectively as a nation and get our asses back to work. But we also need to go to movie theaters, and that's going to take a risk. I am happy to do that. I would go to a movie theater right now without my mask on and sit right next to two people on each side of me. I'm just not worried about it. Maybe I'm dumb, but I'm not worried about it. So when we feel comfortable enough to go to a movie theater, how well do you think they're going to do? Well, according to Jar Jar Abrams, there should be no more white comfort. So maybe we should never go back to the movie theaters, at least for a Jar Jar Abrams movie. Maybe we should never go to a Disney film, an organization that really did support BLM, the organization. Are we going to forget these things anytime soon? Because when you showed support for those organizations, some of that money, including Dynamite Comics, was funneled into other organizations that were bailing people out of jail so they can go right back to burning down somebody's business. Disney paid for that. Elizabeth Banks paid for that. Patton Oswalt paid for that. And essentially we did, because we funded those assholes. So we need to defund them. Watch them all go broke. A lot of them have a lot of habits that are very expensive that they need to keep going. Maybe if we cut that off, maybe things will get a little better. I don't know. Did you notice the Deadline article asked him what else he's working on, and Clarice was not there, says Miles, for 35 Zardoz. No, we will go over that article in a moment, though. Alex Kurtzman, yeah, he wants to take Star Trek in another direction. He's been taking it in one direction pretty consistently, down. Thanatos Felicitas, I see Waldo. Hello. I know I'm Waldo. I'm Waldo. I know you guys missed the action figures. So the new office will have the spirit of the old office. Does that sound good? But it's going to have a new female lead. Zero depressive for 25 Rons. You don't need Kurtzman gone. You need someone who likes Star Trek and has the vision and talent to make a real Trek sequel. It would require Kurtzman being gone, though, because he won't allow anybody with that much talent to come in. I don't know if he's going to be gone, though. That whole reports, all the reports of the Civil War, I don't know if it's true. I mean, it came from 4chan. So I have no idea. I hope it's true. I hope it's true. That's why I didn't do a video on it. It's just the worst thing that can happen to Star Trek is for Alex Kurtzman to make more of it. And he's doing it, and it's happening. And you know what? The best thing he's ever produced came out last week, and it was the Lower Decks episode, and it still wasn't good. It still wasn't good. I remember watching in living color back in the 80s. They had a sketch called Men on Film. Damon Wayans said CBS is the perfect name for the network because all you see is BS. Ah, yes. I got to find that clip. Louis the Plank. Thanks for the $10. You know what? I could probably find it. Hang on. Give me a second. No, I'm going to have to dig a little more for that one. That might take some time. But thank you, Louis the Plank. I might put that in a video. Oh my effing God. Love the new Nooner Perry Chang opening. Captain Buck Gary, Captain Gary Kirk fight the Turdsman Goron. And oh my God, awesome. Love the Spitfire too. Yes, Drake is 6. Thank you. And the Spitfire, okay, is what the cartoon character that you see at the end of all my videos, the one with the big boobs, that is Cosmic Crater Girl. It's a creation of my wife, Melissa. And it was drawn by Derek Robertson of Transmetropolitan and the Boys. I have a new, it's a new old image of her on my Twitter right now that's not colored. I'm looking for somebody to color that. I need a pro, but I'm looking for somebody to color that in like an old 80s comic style so that can be my new end card on my video because I don't want to have San Francisco on my end cards anymore. Yeah, I think I'm going to take advantage of this, and when I unveil the new studio, you're going to get a new end card, and we'll kind of look at it as like a new season of Nerdrotic. The Packin' for £2. Watch Star Trek 1 to 6 again recently. So good. Thank you. You need to watch good Star Trek. And I hope it was Critical Drinker and I who inspired, because I wanted to go back and watch a bunch. I did a live stream with Critical Drinker. It was pretty fun. It was massively fun. And we talked about Star Trek 6 for 3-4 hours. And we did one on Star Trek 2 as well. And we will be doing another movie. It won't be a Star Trek movie, but we talked about another movie we're going to cover, and we're going to do it. We just haven't set a time or a date yet, so I'll let you know. But I'll be back on his channel probably like a month or so, a couple weeks. Critical Drinker is brilliant. Looking forward to the future Running Man and Death Race reality shows from Cali on A&E, says Zero Depressive for 25 runs. I know, right? People are leaving in droves, by the way. Okay, so there's that mass exodus from Hollywood, that article I went over. By the way, that video is doing great. Thank you. I have 10,000 new friends since Friday. So welcome to all of you. So that was supposed to be a sequel video to my leaving San Francisco video, and they're kind of coming out of order. But there is a mass exodus out of this state in San Francisco. So Zillow came out with this. Tim Pool did a video on this. Zillow came out with the data up to May of this year. And as far as houses going for sale in San Francisco, it's gone up 96%. 96%. So San Francisco, it's like finding a unicorn if you see a house for sale in San Francisco. It's rare. People just don't give up their property there. The property it's worth a ton. Even to this day, it's still worth a ton. It's worth a lot. It's a pretty solid investment aside from a pandemic and then being overloaded by a bunch of idiot politicians, which are going to ruin the home value forever. Thanks a lot, London Breed. It's just like, my entire savings. So yeah, it's up 96% from the same time last year. And that's not counting June or July. I can't wait to see those. And I mentioned that I had trouble finding a trailer. As a matter of fact, I tried to rent a truck to go up there to get my comic book collection, and I have to wait 3 weeks. I have to wait 3 weeks to get a truck. So there you go. Yeah, because my comic collection had to come in a separate truck. It could not make it in the moving van. It's big. So, and I don't think I'm making it in one trip either. So yeah, that's difficult. And this exodus is happening all over California now. It's not even just the big cities. It's the burbs. People are done. But look at the damage California has done to Oregon and Seattle. I need you to think about that, because both what you're seeing in both of those states are direct results of California. There was a mass exodus from California in the 90s during the whole freaking grunge era, and everybody was moving to Seattle because Seattle was just a sexy city to be. It was the place to be. Plus, I think Microsoft had a lot to do with that. And then Portland got popular over the last 15 years because people just couldn't afford to live in Oakland or San Francisco anymore, or LA. So they all went to Portland, where young people go to retire, as the show says. Never been a fan of that town. Princess Leia's buns for 10 Australian dollars says, I wish you were single. Well, I've always had a thing for your buns, Princess Leia. The ones on your head, by the way, the ones on your head. Yes. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I am not. Unfortunately for you, I meant to say. That's going to be, yeah, Mrs. Nerdrotic's going to love how I said that. Edgardo Martinez for welcome to the proto-molecule level. The Packin' for £2. Got my TV license refunded to me. Sharing some love. You did? How? Oh, did you just give it up? I know Az gave up his. I wonder how that process is going. I wonder how Az is doing with that. Big Fat Nerd for £5. The TV license pays for the BBC. You can cancel the TV license. Hit the BBC where it hurts. The wallet. Hashtag defund the BBC. And yes, I was calling for that at the end of Doctor Who. Yes, cancel your TV license. If you want to change Doctor Who, if you want to save it, it needs to die. It needs to die. And that sucks. but that's the only way to save it. I don't think it'll happen, but you got to try. You got to try. Miracle Draw, thank you for joining the Proto Molecule level. Oh, I think this is a good time to announce our guest for Friday Night Tights. Friday Night Tights. It's a show I'm very proud of. It's a show has had many different iterations. It's been around for a couple of years, and Odin made a suggestion last year at Comic-Con to maybe get Jeremy, it was actually just to get some Geeks and Gamers people on. So me and Jeremy talked, and we were going to make it a co-production. It's turned into this great thing. Az joined, which is a huge deal. He's now bi-weekly, by the way. And Ryan from RK Outpost is going to take his place. And this Friday, we had a huge guest last week, right? I meant as far as channel, not him personally. We had Jeremy from The Quartering. This week, we have kind of, I'm going to try not to fanboy on this one of my YouTube heroes, Razorfist, is going to be on Friday Night Tights. That's right. The Rageaholic will be on Friday Night Tights. That's going to be a fucking awesome show. Love that guy. Love everything he does. He made a great video today talking about Californians leaving. I couldn't agree with him more. I am guilt-free. I don't vote any of these morons in the office. I don't feel responsible for any of this. I've been trying to fight this shit for the longest time. My vote is a fart in the wind in San Francisco, but I have tried. And you know what? You got to choose your battles, and I'm not going to live in a place where I can't win one. I'm not going to live in a place that will arrest my wife to go to work, but will let somebody go and burn my wife's work down. Can't live there. Can't live in a place that wants to defund the police. I need to know that I can protect me and my own, and that I won't get arrested if somebody breaks into my house. I need my kid to be safe. I would like my kid not to be worried. I mean, he was cool. Logan was cool throughout the whole thing, but you could tell he was concerned. It was worried, and I don't want him to go through that. He's too young for that shit. He doesn't need that in his life. Things are challenging enough for him. Okay. And he doesn't need that extra line of stress he doesn't even know how to process all the time. So yeah. So we're very happy we're turning the page. But I'm never going to forget. It. And the responsibility that I'll own with that is I didn't pay enough attention. That's changing. I will not repeat that mistake. Not that I could have changed anything, but San Francisco's still locked down. They weren't even going to take them off the watch list. They're going to try to lock it down the rest of the year when it had no business of being locked down in the first place. That's the whole point. Is San Francisco had the lowest numbers as far as a big city is concerned in the state, like the lowest. There was no reason to keep it locked down. Chinatown, the district of Chinatown, has some of the lowest numbers in the state. Chinatown. China. I was interested to find that normies at work are starting to see the wokeness we have noticed for a while now in the BBC. Its days are numbered. Randomized for $4.99. That is what we need. That is what you need. You give the normies all the shit you want. They make the world go round. They make the companies change. They force the companies to make the decisions. Us hardcore people, or listen, there's a certain percentage of the population that kind of sees the world for what it is and can sense bullshit and see through it. And there's some who can't, and there's some who won't, whatever it is. I think the commonality with people here on YouTube is you guys kind of sniff that shit out early enough to know when to get out of a situation or see when something's wrong a little earlier than someone else. Sound familiar? And then when you're trying to warn them, they're like, nah. And we can equate it to something small like Star Wars. I saw a problem with Star Wars from The Force Awakens. And then more people saw it with The Last Jedi. And then it took some people a couple of months after The Last Jedi to figure out it's okay how you get there. Doesn't mean you're dumb or anything. You're just busy or doing something else and you don't have time for this shit. But the same thing happens in life. So we've all sensed that there was some bullshit going on from the get-go, right? Right. Well, it's obvious it's bullshit now. It's obvious this is a game. It's obvious this whole thing is a fucking game. And it does have everything to do with what we were talking about. When we were talking about pop culture and political correctness and the BBC, they were social engineering. They were trying for this result. They wanted this to happen. It got out of their control, though. And I believe it was Razor Fist who said it in his... God, I was watching 2 videos today. I'm confusing them, but I believe it was Razor Fist. Or it was Crowder. I don't know. One of the two said it was like a control burn that got out of control. And that's what is happening right now. Straight up. And you know what you're not hearing from is the businesses. You're not hearing from the businesses at all. And the reason being is it'll break the narrative. Well, they're starting to talk to them now. And you're seeing that people are fighting back, and that's good. And if they're fighting back against the BBC, if you're getting through to the normies, that's when we start winning the battle. That's when we truly start winning the battle. When we start getting the normies to recognize what the fuck is going on. And this is in all of our best interests as human beings. However you identify, whatever religion you practice, whatever person you sleep with, free expression is important, because what they're using is certain groups as a shield so they can shut that down. And what do you think they're going to do to you once they have all the power? They're going to shut you down. They're already trying to backdoor some stuff anyway. And you got to be able to recognize it. And when I talk about this banned YouTuber's video, we will discuss what he talks about. And this is a 5-year-old video. It's more applicable today than it was when he made it. I take responsibility for my fat privilege. #sorry, says Fat Steven Seagal beat up Alex Kurtzman. Whoa, you changed your name. Wow. For 2 Canadian pesos. That took a lot to do that. Now you can't change it back, though. I'd love to see the BBC's days numbered. Fat Steven Seagal beat up Alex Kurtzman's kind of becoming like a Insta legend in the chat. That's cool. Idea machine for $5. All non-diverse people should quit the BBC. Be the change you believe in. Basically, all the white folks should get out. Just get out. Dana Bailey, thank you for the piece of pie for $1.49. In response to the BBC's decision to try to remove Rule Britannia and Land of Hope and Glory, Land of Hope and Glory is now the #1 song on the UK charts. Yes. That's what happens every fucking time. Every time people, oh my God. See, that does my heart good. That makes me feel good. Big Love Brother, says Michael Lewis, for £5. Thank you. Oh, by the way, the Brits are showing up big time today. If you do come to the UK, Gary, it's a 14-day quarantine, though I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, that would be all of my vacation. Well, I spent all of it in quarantine. It was lovely. Goodbye. Yeah, once that's done, I'll go over there. All right, we'll do a couple more super chats. Then we got to read the Alex Kurtzman article. Ugh, I don't know if I want. Do I want to bring on a headache? I really don't, but I'll do it for you. This Brit is here. #defund the BBC, says Rich Suddy for $9.99. Thank you, Rich, and defund the BBC. Hi, Gary. I'm jealous that you're leaving California. I live in Central Valley, which isn't too bad, but I would like to leave the state, but can't afford it. Professor Chaos 00 for $5. You're at least in a sane part of the state. Central Valley is not bad. I mean, as far as politics go, you're pretty normal out there. So you're okay. I don't want to be moving. This is not something I planned for, but my kid wasn't getting an education. The school I fought like hell, and Melissa fought like hell to get him in, was just straight up canceled. So it was going to force him. He's going to public school in San Francisco, and that shit's ending in like a month. And yes, there was some waiver that went around that we weren't supposed to interrupt the Zoom meetings. I signed it, but I believe me, I interrupt those things. I listen in. I want to know what they're teaching them. And yeah, it's indoctrination right now. So we're going to have to find something some alternative for Logan. But right now I need him learning something, but Logan knows what's up. That kid knows what's up as far as politics are concerned. And I've raised both my boys right. They are independent thinkers. And believe it or not, they went, my oldest son made it through the school system in San Francisco. And he is a huge, well, I wouldn't say huge. He's a Trump supporter. He's critical of him on some things. But yeah, he's a kid who made it through the San Francisco school system and went the other way with all of his friends, by the way, all of his friends. So maybe maybe they did start alienating enough kids to where the proper rebelling, the proper process of rebelling started to happen. When I can talk. Keller Ranch, welcome to the Gandalf level. Thank you. Randomize for $2.99. Your Brits are good, Gary. How are you doing? I am doing well today. Got the green screen up. Half recorded a couple of videos. I got an awesome guest on Friday Night Tights, and I'm putting together The Office. Goal-oriented. And the town I'm in is going to open up in a couple days. I'm very excited. I can go to a comic book store. Adios, MCU. We already got the best that they had. Done. Says Louis the Plank for $5. Yep. America Chavez is coming, and she will be there with Miss Marvel, and she'll be there with Falcon Captain America, and she'll be there with Brie Larson. Falcon Captain America is not that bad. I can put up with him. Sam Wilson. I'm fine. That wouldn't bother me. But if we get an A-Force movie, which would be a gift from the gods, by the way, and I'm going to be good for the rest of the year so we can get that movie. And we'll all have a good time on YouTube for a good 6 months over that. That would be a solid 6 months of content. I mean, you get 1,000 videos from Jeremy. That's Griggs. And Jeremy Hambley, you would get 2,000 videos. You'd probably get about 30 from me. Yeah, it would be a good time. And you'd get one from Critical Drinker, but it would have more views than all of our videos combined. And Az would do like 50. 200 Watt Studio for $2. Is it true that Brie named her cucumber Feige? Oh! Oh. Oh, Perry's probably already on that, man. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, hang on. I can't believe you missed the latest Brie Larson video. Jesus Christ. Let me collect myself here. That was good. 200 Watt Studio. You got me. Brie Larson, YouTube. Here we go. Oh, there she's on a big old cucumber. There it is. Oh. There we go. Feige. You think it's named Feige? Let's see what she says about this here real quick.
Oh my God. Bikinis are the same. This isn't even the biggest one. This one was just the easiest one for me to grab.
Feige, the cucumber. Oh, that was good. 200 Watt Studio. Just a kid from Brooklyn for $10. Some misfits there. Right on. Hey, Gary, just wanted to say how lucky the culture war is to have so many talented YouTubers on our side. I could listen to you and Doomcock talk for hours. You guys have a real gift for broadcasting. Well, thank you. I would blame not getting enough attention from my father. And instead of whining about it, I just decided to talk a lot until he started paying attention. But I'm the guy who went like, dad, 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 until he turned around. That was me. Will Captain Karen wield a magical cucumber? Well, you just saw it there, Louis the Plank. And it's big. That sucker's big. That's a big Twinkie. No, well, thanks. Just a kid from Brooklyn. I appreciate that. It's fun. Hey, you can do it too if you can talk. I was practicing this for like 5 or 6 years, a little longer. Before a few years before that, I was podcasting with the Comic Shop as well. Before anybody actually listened, did I tell you guys? I found my one of my earliest podcasts. I found it, and I'm going to put it on Nerdrotic.com in the next couple of days. And it was the day Marvel was bought by Disney. And we did an emergency podcast in my comic store with like 9 guys all talking over each other. It's kind of a mess, but I will put it on Nerdrotic.com within the next 24 hours and warts and all. But I was in my 30s. That's how long ago that was. 30s. I've always hated how power money hungry Disney was. I've always supported other companies that should get more support. Excited for JW Dominion. All right. Fantasia builds for £5. I've never liked Disney either. I've never been the biggest fan. I've been more of a Warner Brothers fan, but I love Disneyland. Had a lot of good times there. I've been to Disneyland hundreds of times, like a lot. I went there every weekend for like 3 summers in a row. And then in the 90s, I had passes and we were going up every other weekend for like 7 years in a row. I mean, I liked it there a lot, but it's a horrible corporation and they have contributed to and I think people have noticed. That's the thing. Is Disney World is freaking dead and Universal is kicking its ass. Now, there is a reason for that. And it's the X factor, which is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a huge effing franchise. I know I'm stating the obvious there, but because it's been out of the limelight for a while, I don't think a lot of people in the media appreciate that. For an entire generation, that was their Star Wars. And it might have been bigger because it did something, there was a book series that grew up with an entire generation. J.K. Rowling was able to drop a book every 2 years. So Harry got older with this entire generation. And that will never be equaled. And the parks are a huge success because the rides are cool. People love the rides. That helps too. And it had successful movies. That helps too. But the movies, pale in comparison to the books. The books will sell forever. And J.K. Rowling, I think the books have already sold like $8 billion worth of books. And they're just starting. I mean, it's just starting, and this is whether you like the books or not, it's a classic. They've outsold every book imaginable, and it will stay a classic for a long, long time. So J.K. Rowling's not going to be hurting for money anytime soon. She doesn't have as much as George Lucas, but George Lucas has been doing it decades longer than her, and she just needs to sit back and collect. She doesn't have to do shit. Yeah, I think people just like the experience at Universal, and they were nicer to their customers. So there's the biggest difference. Because I asked Jeremy about this because I don't know dick about it. And Jeremy just said that Universal is nicer to their customers than Disney. Simple. And now they're at their limited capacity, but at capacity, and Disney World is not because they're cool to their customers. It's like it's fucking rocket science. The MCU needs a Deadpool kills treatment. A la Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe comics. Keller Ranch for $25. Oh, that would be beautiful. They would never do it, but if somebody did like a parody comic, like The Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, why not do Deadpool kills the MCU? If I could draw, I'd do it. That would be beautiful. And basically, you can kill like Captain Marvel multiple times. Rewatched Bogus Journey. So little Bill and Ted are and have always been girls. Why did they make that decision? I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder why too. Now, Tom said the movie's not woke. He's seen it. Or he insinuated that. He couldn't come out and say it. So we'll find out. I don't know. When does it come out? I pre-ordered it. I don't know when it comes out, though. Null Unit, 60 for $25.10. This ain't for you, Gary. It's for Lady Gravemaster for getting your guest for this week's Friday Night Tights. Why, thank you very much. She did a good job. Latino Slant for $1.99. The canned X Them. The X Them. Oh, maybe that's what they'll be called. Or they can't say men because that's outdated. Remember, it's outdated. Thanks to you and the drinker. The old lady and I are going to rewatch OG Star Trek films. Decided to start with the series instead. Space Seed is up tonight. Finally, some quality television. Finally. So Star Trek. Of course, we have, and this is debated, and I'm going to discuss this right now. We have Gene Roddenberry's vision. All right, Gene Roddenberry's vision for Star Trek. People like to say that Gene Roddenberry didn't have a vision, that was full of shit. Well, okay, I mean, I wasn't there. I was very young, but I've listened to 30 interviews with Gene Roddenberry, a lot of them from the late 60s and the early 70s, and he talks a lot about having a vision. So I don't, was Gene a perfect human being? No. And some would argue that Gene was an SJW. I think Gene was a liberal and he was a hippie, but he was also a giant hypocrite. While he pretended to be a feminist, he was banging. He was a Hollywood producer. Okay. So Hollywood producers will say one thing and be another. I understand that. But the overall vision of Gene Roddenberry's, which isn't his whole creation, just like George Lucas's Star Wars doesn't all belong to George. Marcia Lucas had something to do with it. Gary Kurtz had something to do with it. Irving Kershner had something to do with it. Even Richard Marquand had a little bit to do with it, and others. And all the effects people that went through ILM had stuff. There was all kinds of people who had, but it's George's vision ultimately. Same goes for Gene. Of course, there was DC Fontana and many others who were involved in the creation of what Star Trek is right now, but it was still Gene's vision. And maybe he was lying, but I mean, I can pull up audio right now where he talks about, we had a vision for the future. We had a vision for the future. So whatever, doesn't matter. I have never, ever stated at any moment that I was an expert on Star Trek. I'm not an expert in anything. I like a lot of stuff. I know a thing or two about some stuff. I'm nowhere near an expert. And any douchebag who self-labels himself one, well, I mean, you just painted yourself into a corner because there's always a bigger fish. Always. And also I don't need to be an expert. I like to learn new things. I do. Plus, if you're around long enough, I mean, God dang, I've watched a lot of television, but I haven't watched it all recently, like within the last couple of years. All right. So like there's Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I've seen every episode multiple times. I can't remember everything about him because it's been, I don't know, 15 years since I watched him. So yeah, there's that. Where am I going to find, was that Deadline where that Alex Kurtzman article is? But you don't need to be an expert, by the way. That's one of the biggest problems with Star Trek fandom is that they'll turn that on and off when they need to. To be a fan of Star Trek, you just got to like it. And you got to respect where it came from. I think if you're a true blue fan, you would just respect where you don't have to, but I think that's the one measure of a fan is respecting its source material, respecting where it came from, respecting the ideal of it. Now, if I don't know how you equate it in your head, how you can like old Star Trek and new Star Trek. I just honestly don't know how you can work that out, but I'm sure many can, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I love, should I show this? I should show this. I don't know if you can see this or not. Oh, hang on. You guys are looking at it anyway. Let me see if I can pull it down. Oh, I can't. Hang on. Oh, it's not showing it now. Why not? Oh, well. I hit Alex Kurtzman and the drop down said moron and idiot. It's gone now. You could tell. So when I'm looking for thumbnails and stuff, that's what I search, and you usually get pretty good pictures. You don't need to see my search. Was it deadline? There we go. And that is from the 24th. Oh boy, that's way too big now. Let's get that a little smaller. There we go. Of all things, the Short Treks creator, is that what he wants to be known for? Let's take a look real quick. Short Treks are. Let's see if those views have gone up. Let's see if those views have gone up at all. I don't think they have on CBS All Access. The YouTube. CBS All. I don't think they have. They've embedded some of the videos, like I said before, but I don't think. Oh my God, I don't want to. Oh, see. Oh, shut up. God. I apologize. It's going to autoplay on me. Don't do it. All right. So The Trouble with Edward is a short trek that's been out for 1 week, but it was out for 5 days and it had 5,000 or 6,000 views. And then they put it here. So it autoplays every time you go to the channel. So now it's got 46,000 views. That's still pathetic. This is a Star Trek show. This is a full episode of a Star Trek short trek. So if you look down here, you'll see that it has 46,000 views, 17,000 views, 25,000 views. And if we go to the next one here, it's got 11,000 views and 29,000 views. That's sad as hell. So yeah, it's not doing that well. It really isn't. All right. Oh, hell. Why did I do that? Short Trek's creator, Alex Kurtzman, on his mission with expanding Star Trek universe, let's show people a future that's better. My name is Alex Kurtzman, and I start every sentence with "and." I haven't laughed since I was 5 years old, and girls don't like me. But it's okay, because I believe in female empowerment. First venturing into the world of Star Trek with Jar Jar Abrams' 2009 film of the same name, Alex Kurtzman offered up the latest expansion of an iconic sci-fi universe with the short-form series Star Trek Short Treks. The CBS All Access series consists of live-action and animated shorts which examine different corners of the ever-expanding Star Trek universe, centered on characters and themes that have yet to be fully explored. What, you mean like good storytelling? I think good storytelling and characterization, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, neither of those have been explored at all. You might want to try, though. The series has been an opportunity to fuck things up beyond recognition. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what it said. To experiment with story and tone. I love it when people, like when the guy goes to guitar class, right? And he learns how to play like 3 chords and he thinks he's Jimmy fucking Page. And well, not Jimmy Page, because you would plagiarize other music, but which is fine. It still turned out good. I like Led Zeppelin. But you know what I mean? So he thinks he's Jimmy Page and he wants to start like fucking jamming, and he just sucks. That's what Alex Kurtzman is. He got Sam Raimi some coffee and he thinks he can run a franchise now. And he has run it into the ground. He has. Experiment with story and tone. To experiment with story and tone, you would need to understand story and tone. You would need to have your own specific style, which Alex Kurtzman does not. His style is to use other people's styles. What is uniquely Kurtzman? I mean, aside from sucking, but that's not technically an artistic style. What is uniquely Kurtzman? Failure? Sure. Again, not a style. While bringing new directors into the fold. At this year's Emmys, Star Trek becomes the first Star Trek project to... At this year's Emmys, Short Treks becomes the first Star Trek project to earn a nomination for Outstanding Short-Form Comedy and Drama Series. Well, it was funny. It was funny how bad it was. Inspired in his work by Pixar's skill in short-form storytelling, Kurtzman was, of course, pleased to see the series recognized by the TV Academy. Well, the fact that the Emmys nominated a short trek for an award, and the one that got nominated for an award, I believe, is the one with 11,000 views, by the way. Which one was it? For the EP, the nomination only validates the mission he's taken on his recent years with Star Trek, one that he considers vitally important. This is the only Emmy nomination, I believe. Star Trek Discovery Season 1, I think. Didn't Michael Burnham, didn't Sonequa Martin Green get nominated? I think she did. I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, I don't know if any of you actually ever cared about the Emmys. Did you? I didn't until, I don't know, maybe the 2000s. And I didn't. Yeah, it's the Academy Awards I used to give a shit about. And the Grammys, I used to give a shit about. And the American Music Awards, because they would bring out better bands than the Grammys. But, yeah, I think the mission is to make the world better. See, that's his mission is to make the world better through Star Trek. This man with no talent. You know what? If I wrote Star Trek tomorrow, and I've never written a single episode of television. I've written 5 comic books. I could probably come up with a better story than he could. And I have no business writing television, ever. But neither does he. So he wants to make a world a better place. Well, you can start, Alex, by quitting. If you quit Star Trek, you would be making the world a better place. It would be addition by subtraction. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry's vision of this. Oh, so there is a vision for Star Trek. I don't know. I'm confused now because there's YouTubers with 15,000 subscribers saying there isn't. Gene Roddenberry never had a vision. I've had plenty of visions, man. But that was with the help of acid. I'm going to create something that can show us the best of who we are and can act as a compass. Wow. Holy shit. I got to do this in Alex Kurtzman speak. Sorry. I think the mission is to make the world better. Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry's vision of this was, and I'm going to create something that can show us, the best of who we are, and can act as the compass that we can follow towards the future that's better, the one that we're living in now, Kurtzman says. And we need that vision, and now more thou and ever. I think it's and our responsibility to and uphold it and to allow and future generations and of kids and past generations of and adults who are long-term and fans to be determined of how and important it is to see the world through Gene Roddenberry's eyes. So that's the mission, right? He adds, let's show people the future. That's better. So we have Kathleen Kennedy recently saying Star Wars needs to take a step back, that maybe, just maybe, George Lucas had a vision and maybe we didn't realize it as best we could. Now, she didn't say that at all, but if you read between the lines, like Kathleen Kennedy, I don't think she's ever apologized in her life. And that's the closest thing we'll ever see or we'll ever see her taking responsibility of anything, which she's not going to do. And she ended up didn't. We can go over those. She ended up not doing that. And we can go over those statements in a moment. But Kurtzman is doing the same thing here, essentially. He is saying that, maybe we should have an optimistic Star Trek. And this is nothing new. We heard this with Strange New Worlds, right? So now we're 5 years into the Kurtzman project. We've had 4 series of television. None of them are good. We had one competent episode that wasn't just offensively bad. And now he wants to show the world something better, something more positive. How did short treks come about? What excited you about making this short form series? Well, the honest answer is they needed money because of the reshoots, and they came up with the short treks, and they thought they were going to sell them to Netflix, and Netflix didn't buy them. But let's see what he says. Discovery Season 1 taught us a lot of lessons about how long the turnaround is for shows to take, because it's really more like making a long film than television shows. No, Alex, you just really suck at it. And all the reshoots and fired showrunners, that's what takes longer. Being inefficient, being untalented, being directionless, being clueless, not having a plan. Yeah, that stuff makes you, that takes longer. That's not like filming. Yeah, you couldn't film a movie, by the way. You had one called The Mummy, and it was a disaster. And we spend copious amounts of time on visual effects after we wrap. And also the copious amount of time you spent on reshoots, and then, with the visual effects with those reshoots. And then, spending copious amounts of time hiring another showrunner that you fired, that you blamed for your incompetence. That can take upwards of 8 months. But they wanted initially to drop season 2 before we would really be ready to deliver everything we needed for season 1. And I said, okay, well, what about this? If you delay the drop of season 2, what can we do what can we do? What we can do is some short treks. Well, let's use our sets and try this interesting experiment to make more money to cover my ass once again for my incompetence and see if it works. And it didn't. And it will buy us some time, but it won't bring us any money for Star Trek awareness to remain in the culture conversation. They said, sure, okay, let's try. And we started out doing 5 and people really liked them. Yeah, sure. Other 5s and 10s of people seemed to like them a little. Not really. The idea was that they should be their own self-contained stories. As a writer, it's really challenging. It's really challenging. I can end it right there. It's really challenging for you to be a writer, yes. And a great way to figure out how to tell a story in between 5 to 15 minutes, which you couldn't do. That was a beginning, middle, and end. Nope. And usually a twist at the end. No, actually, you don't need a twist at every end of every story, but that's what Jar Jar Abrams thinks. That's what Jar Jar Abrams thinks. We kept referring to O. Henry stories and how fun it is. You think you're watching one thing and then something else is revealed that changes your perspective on the story. Nope. It really didn't. There's something about compressed storytelling that challenges you as a writer. If you were one, it might be challenging in a way that's really exciting. So they ended up being delightful for all of us. I can't read this entire fucking article. It's talking about the shitty short treks. Is this the one that won the award? Got nominated? Oh, it doesn't really matter. They all sucked. Now, this one is probably the one that got nominated for an award. And you know what? If we go to back to CBS All Ass. That one has 11,000 views. It's available for free right now. 11,000 views. Lovely. I can't read all that. That's garbage. Kurtzman's an idiot. Short treks. So that was, usually when some kind of Star Trek news comes out, they counteract it with a Kurtzman interview or an announcement. And if you just go back and look at the history of starting out with Midnight's Edge videos and then Doomcock and my videos, when we started getting any kind of traction, and Midnight's Edge was breaking all the news. Like they were breaking all the news. I was just reacting to articles and stuff. But you would see the momentum start to swing because at first people were really defending Star Trek Discovery, but then they realized it was shit. So that's when CBS started fighting this war. So when Midnight's Edge would drop a story or we would drop a review, within 2 days, comicbook.com or one of the CNET or something would have an article and some fluff piece on Kurtzman or somebody involved in the show. And it's how this whole tit for tat that we've been doing for a couple of years now. At first, I just thought it was a coincidence. Actually, for the longest time, I'm like, man, it's like they tried to counteract the point of either one of my videos or Midnight's Edge or Doomcock, like directly. This one was a half-ass weak attempt because in the rumor that came out that I didn't even do a video on, I don't know if anybody did. I think Midnight's Edge did. They said that short treks are canceled. Short treks are canceled. We'll see. They seem to be pretty cheap to make. We will see, though. All right. Seth MacFarlane has become a Biden apologist. Very disappointing. If you can't call your own side, you got problems. Wes Moody webcast for $5. Seth is a Democrat. He's a liberal Democrat. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. But as Razorfist pointed out, there is a split, and it's not, and it's something that's going to affect that party. And I do believe we need more than two parties in this country, like that are strong. I think that would save us a lot of trouble, to be honest with you. We need parties that are more representative of larger portions of the people. I'm not sure that party is representative to even itself, to classic liberals anymore. I know it's not. But that's why I don't follow him on Twitter. I don't follow any celebs. Your soundbite. What? Your soundbite was used on InfoWars? You're famous? Modalicious? Nah. Which soundbite? Modalicious? Give me context. If one of my soundbites was used on InfoWars, I want to know about it. Don't just leave that in there. Leave me hanging, brother. Put it in the chat. Just put it in the regular chat. I'm keeping an eye on you, Modalicious. Put at Nerdrotic. They mentioned us in, what were they called again? Oh, shit. I was doing my Super Chat Square Up, and it was a big blog mentioned me, and I was looking at the Rational Wiki. I followed the celebrity Nerdrotic. Shut up, Fat Steven Seagal. That's funny, though. If I go to the Rational Wiki, right? Ah, there it is. This is funny. I'm waiting for Modalicious. I'd be Ripa's running mate. Damn right. I mean, he'd have to be president, though. I'd be okay with vice presidents don't do very much, right? And I really wouldn't want the job, so he'd be safe with me. Plus, I got that guy's back, man. Plus, he's way younger. Twitter is cancer. 848. It's fucking cancer. But like, check this out. This is hilarious. This is when you know you made the big time. When you made the big time. So we're going to go to the Rational Wiki, which isn't very websites politics. Websites politics. Conservative, right-wing, cultural libertarians. Look at this. These are quotes, by the way. Cultural libertarians, classic liberals, centrists, and reactionaries. And there's a lot of people on this list, right? There's Bering, and there's Brick Girl, Clownfish TV, Comics Gator, who rants about Disney ruining their favorite pieces of media. Okay, Clownfish TV is they are liberal. They are classic liberal. Comic Artist Pro Secret, yet another Comics Gator dude bro on the right whining about the dreaded SJWs. But if you go down here to Nerdrotic, former comic book store owner who spends most of his time whining about SJWs, progressive media, and anything to the left of Glenn Beck. I don't know anything about Glenn Beck, but I'm glad that they put that I used to own a comic store. That's funny. Yes, sons of bitches. Oh, you can't see it. Fucking A. Why can't you see it? Oh, because I had the wrong thing on. My bad. I'm an idiot. Boomer. Here we go. This is the Rational Wiki. So if it says, yeah. I don't know why I came across this. Oh, it was Ace of Spades HQ. Ace of Spades HQ mentioned me in a live stream. But they mentioned me before on the podcast. So I'm not too familiar with them, though. But I will become familiar. But there it is right there. I used to own a former comic book store owner who spends most of his time whining about SJW's progressive media and anything to the left of Glenn Beck. I don't know shit about Glenn Beck. I'll be honest with you. All right. Now we're going to go back here. Did we hear from Modalicious? Are you there, Modalicious? Now, where's a Modalicious when you're asking for him? Ripa works with Beck. Well, no, Beck works with Ripa. Okay. Oh, that's right. He's on oh yeah, that's right. He's on his thing. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I just don't know much about him. I remember him when he was on Fox News and he was like always on the chalkboard, right? He was always doing a chalkboard and looking like I'll go back. Did I miss his chance? I missed his chance. The Revenant. Hang on, I'll go back up. I just didn't see it. They're moving kind of fast. Give me just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking for you, Modalicious. Hang in there, buddy. There it is, right there. When you said, as much as Hollywood wants this to be okay, this will never be okay. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I am very happy. Modalicious, email me that, please. I've been listening to Alex Jones. I remember, okay, my first experience with Alex Jones was listening to Art Bell because Alex Jones used to go after the Bilderbergers all the time. The Bilderbergers were coming. Way before the frogs were gay, there was the Bilderbergers. And there was Bohemian Grove. And Bohemian Grove was, well, now it's far away, but it wasn't that far away from where I lived before. It's in Northern California, and it's a real place where there's a big fucking like statue to Moloch. It's an owl. It's a god of some kind. And real rich folks, if you're not familiar with this, it's where basically the Illuminati go, and they do mock sacrifices to this fake statue, and it's mock sacrifices of children, right? So they go through this whole it's supposed to be for fun. That's how they present it, but they keep it real secret. And man, dude, President Bush goes there, and he'll go there with like Clinton, and to show that they're all part of the same party, man. There's just one, it's one puppet master, two hands. So he got some video of, so that's why he got famous, because people used to think he was just fucking nuts. He was this crazy guy who would call out Art Bell. I remember he was in a hotel room. He called Art Bell, and he's like, "We're trapped in a the security's coming after us. Art, I don't know if we're going to make it out alive, so I just want to say that we're here for the people, and power to the people, and God bless you." And then bunch of drama. So, but when he got that Bohemian Grove video, like that was the real deal. That was the real deal. It's the first time anybody got video of that. Before that, people just thought it was a rumor, a myth. But he got video of them doing mock sacrifices to Moloch or whatever the fuck it's called. And yeah, so that's how Alex came around. He's weird. He's definitely weird, but I think he's funny. And by the way, he should have never been banned off YouTube, ever. I don't care how weird you are. I don't care anything. Leafy, I know dick about Leafy, by the way. I had to go back and do research. I didn't know what Leafy was about. Sorry, I barely know what iDubbbz is about. That's just, my kid had to tell me who both of them were. So Leafy shouldn't be banned either, because it's only a matter of time. I'm glad Crowder got remonetized, though. Very happy about that. I am, but I think it's a setup. I'm sure he does too. I think it's straight. I saw Quarter Black in here earlier. Fucking love you, man. I hope it's not a setup. But that's awesome. Holy shit. That is brilliant. Love to get Alex Jones on the Exozone, though. Oh, yeah. Michael Billington for £5. Hail, Gary. Thanks for keeping me company while I'm working. You're welcome. Thanks for keeping me company, Michael Billington. Modalicious. That was like the best news I have gotten in a long time. Fucking Infowars uses a sound bite of mine. Holy shit. Okay. I quit now. No, I'm just kidding. Spinning Straw Comics for $4.99. Hail, Gary. Hail, chat. Read a free 28-page comic. I like free comics. I do when they're good. And sign up to be notified when Apex 13 launches crowdfunding. Spinning Straw Comics. Where do we sign up? Spinning Straw Comics? You can respond in the chat, please, and then one of my mods will echo you. So Spinning Straw Comics, just let me know where we sign up for your free comic book. My favorite Gary comments are his hair critiques. Ginger Hosley for $2. Well, I'm married to a hairdresser, and hairdressers outside of YouTubers are the cattiest people on the planet, but they don't hold a candle to YouTubers, who are a bunch of catty little bitches, bunch of little drama, catty little bitches. But hairdressers are pretty close. They're bad. They're bad. Oh my God, look at those roots. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing Mrs. Nerdrotic says when she sees the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen? She talks about her roots. She said something like, she couldn't regenerate a better bleach job than that. Really? Seriously? You nailed it with calling out Hollywood stupidity. Thank you, Rob Atlas. And I plan to continue doing so. I'm tired of their hypocritical piece of shit asses who have been fucking fanning the flames of division for years now and thinking they don't have to suffer the same consequences we all do. And you know what? Yeah, shit did change when my wife shut my business down. That's when I stopped I mean, like, you know what? I'll try to be understanding. It's part of my recovery. I try to be forgiving, but it's pretty clear they don't want to be forgiving. They aren't about unity. They're about excluding. They're about making an enemy right now. And they're all about winning an election, and that's it. And they don't care what the consequences are. And they're not giving a single thought to what the long-term consequences are to your kids and to my kids. And they're trying to, and they don't even know what they're doing, by the way. They're dumb. Like I said earlier, they're dumb. So they don't understand that they're being complicit in tearing down a system that they are absolutely is required for them to make their living. They're too dumb to realize that. And I think a lot of it is, there is some guilt there. I think there's a lot of guilt that if you pretend for a living and you have, $30 million in the bank and all you did was pretend badly to be an actual historical figure or something, it might be hard to work out in your brain. It wouldn't be for me. I would be cool. Right on. I'd be grateful. I'd be the happiest mofo alive. Like Keanu Reeves has a very good attitude for an actor. I don't know if he's really that way in real life, but it seems like he's that chill and that nice and that grateful. Yeah. So when Hollywood falls, what will happen to entertainment then? Do you think we'll get movies from different studios set up in different states, or different games from non-California studios, or is entertainment over? Entertainment is not over. We'll always need it. Storytelling is always going to be part of our lives. You're always going to have novels. Those aren't going anywhere. Comics is going through a change, but they'll always be around. I think it could turn into the music industry. I don't know if that's going to help it or not, but it's going to fracture. It's going to fracture. So you're going to be able to make a movie in Pittsburgh now. And you're going to be able to make a movie in San Diego or wherever your hometown is. Just like you can make music everywhere. They used to fly, big bands to London or to LA and into some big studio so it would be close to the big time producer who didn't want to travel. They used to do that. You could record music anywhere now. Anywhere. You could make a film and a TV show anywhere. But I don't know if scripted entertainment will be the go-to entertainment forever. I think we're way more into each other in a much more positive way, into interaction. So if you can figure out a way to entertain and interact all at the same time, why do you think, those stupid shows, and they're not really that stupid if you think about, America's Got Talent, whatever, they have the voting. That's a form of interaction. And those shows were huge for a long, long time. And they're cheap as hell. Well, I would argue that we're entertaining each other, and we're in we've been in a new era for quite some time. Hollywood just doesn't recognize it. Hollywood's being replaced slowly. Why do you think they're trying to be influencers? Oh, God, I hate that word. Because they are losing their influence. But there'll always be a place for it, and I think it's easier for us to make it now. Think about it. You don't have to go to a school anymore. You do not have to go to a film school anymore. All you have to do is, take the time, go on YouTube, watch some tutorials, pick up a camera, pick up your Premiere. That's how many people, there's people in this chat right now. I learned Photoshop by just trying it. And then eventually when there was video tutorials, I went to video tutorials, and now I know Photoshop up, down, left, right, center. And I know After Effects, and I know Premiere and Final Cut. I was trained on Final Cut, but I self-taught on Premiere, which is kind of the same. And yeah, I think if you just learn it yourself, which you can do pretty quickly, and actually working with the stuff, that's where you'll learn the most. That's why I made it through a 4-month film school, and it's called a new media school. And I learned everything in 4 months that you would learn in a film school. They just took out all the theory. They put a camera in your hand and told you to go. Studios should watch Just Some Guys video titled Avery Brooks Explains Why SJW Characters Suck. That's a great video, by the way. He wanted to play that captain, not a black captain. The only diversity issue BBC can cure is their own, but fans are the ists and the phobes. Exactly, Gray Ghost for $20. Well said. And to Idris Elba's credit, he said some woke stupid shit before, but he didn't want to be known as the Black James Bond. Same thing. Same thing. And this is the same thing Ripa has been saying over and over and over and over again on his channel. And I think it was the one time Ripa and Uche like completely agreed on something. And I put both of their clips in my video. We were talking about the MCU is table scraps. What you're giving women and black people and Asian people are table scraps. You're giving them already established characters who have been kind of used up already and like, oh, here you go. Here's a Doctor Who. Here's a Captain America. Yeah, it's been a white guy for 75 years, but now we're going to make it a black guy to piss off all the white guys. Do you like that, black guy? You're being used to piss off our political opponents. Isn't that that is a step in the right direction. That is a step ahead for humanity. That is progression by using a black man to piss off other white men. I'm sure that black man feels respected as an individual. And the same thing goes for Doctor Who. Look, ladies, you're empowered now. We took an established male label of over 55 years and took it away from the men and gave it to you. Ha ha. And we did it so we can watch their male tears and shame them. Don't you feel empowered now? Don't you feel like a better person for doing that? We're the good guys, by the way. Just wanted to let you know we're the good guys. We love to take shit away from bad guys. By the way, they're not really bad. We just paint them as that way because we need to feel better about ourselves. And we like to watch them complain about stuff that we ruin. And then we mock them for it. But we're the good guys. Hale, have you watched any of the RNC? It's been incredible, dude. Such a huge contrast to the country is horrible. That was the DNC. You should watch. Says Nerdy by Nature for $5. I watched a little bit of the DNC. It was terrible. And I'll watch a little bit from yesterday. I heard it was pretty good yesterday, but I haven't watched it. No. I'll probably watch like if Crowder has coverage of it. Didn't I see Lady Alchemy had coverage of it? Maybe I'll watch hers. Straight white male for 2 Canadian pesos. Would give more, but dirt poor. Really enjoy Chan. I really enjoy Chan too. Straight white male. If you just being here is great. That is all I need. That's all I need is some company. So thank you. Please, hang on to it, my man. If you need it, please hang on to it. I appreciate you though. Cardinal Sin for $2.99. Have a coffee on me, Gary. I will. Once there is coffee in the coffee shops, because the local coffee shops, including Pete's and Starbucks, which I was forced to go to because Pete's was out of coffee, are out of coffee. The supply chain has been broken. And in this general area, no Starbucks or Pete's have any coffee. I think that's going to change tomorrow. But they went 3 days without any coffee. You want to know why? They are having trouble staffing their stores and their distribution centers. They have lots of jobs available, but nobody wants to fill them. You want to know why? Because unemployment pays better than the regular job. It's like it's being incentivized to stay home and engineer a destruction of our economy. Why would they do that? There is jobs available and people are not taking them, yet we're hearing about all this unemployment. Interesting. There's help wanted signs everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Job's a job, folks. I've done them all. And there's no shame in any of it. Despite what my internet son Ryan says, there's no shame working at Taco Bell. You might want to get the order right, especially if it's Ryan entitled White Boy Ryan. No, I'm just kidding. But no, a job's a job. Okay. I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at Burger King. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Long John Silver's. Worked all those places. Not very long. I needed a paycheck to get some drugs, but I worked there for a little while. Yeah. My first job was Burger King. Well, technically, my first job was paper boy, and I used that money for comic books and Pringles. Please stop. Give me your money. Give your money to Hollywood. Boycott. Please stop giving your money to Hollywood. Boycott everything that comes out of that town. Everything. Yeah. Like I said in my cuties video, I'm going to find it. It's going to be hard to watch anything now. Anything. And I cover pop culture. And I am going to take it by a case-by-case basis. But I've always, listen, I'm not new to this. All right. I do a show called The Exozone. I am into conspiracy theories. There are things I will not bring up on this channel because I want this channel to stay around. And if you bring up certain things, it might be okay now, but then YouTube will decide later that it's not okay and it nukes your channel. And there are things I will discuss off platform on the Exozone. That's why I'm trying to work it out in my head here. But that open secret in Hollywood, that is something I've tried to talk about for quite some time, but it goes way beyond Hollywood, way beyond Hollywood. And you guys know that. I know a lot of you know that already. It is a big deal. And when I'm reminded of it, because it's been out there for a while, and this is just the latest thing. And my God, have you seen, I think it was Big Mouth, right? It's Big Mouth, the animated show on Netflix. Tim Pool brought it up. He was not fucking wrong, by the way. I had no idea what that was. Holy shit. Cuties is nothing compared to that. And there is shit out there like that all over the place that they sneak in here and there. Yes, there is an active movement to normalize that behavior because they're starting to look at it clinically. All right. And they're starting to say it's a disease, it's sickness. And that enrages me because they are equating it almost with recovery and alcoholism and trying to throw it in that realm. And fucking don't you fucking dare. What works for alcohol and addiction recovery will not work for the other. Absolutely will not work. Because we can't afford a single relapse. You can afford a relapse on drugs and alcohol because it's just me. Hopefully I'm not, listen, I didn't drive when I was drunk, but there's other people in danger too. There most certainly is. But the person most in danger is me. If I go out, back out again. If some of those people go back out again, it is kids who are in danger. We can't afford a single relapse. Sorry that you were born with some bad wiring that makes you like something you shouldn't like. I don't care. Maybe next time around, it'll work out for you. That's my feelings on it. I try to be forgiving with some things. That one, not so forgiving with. Because I know the effect it has on a person and the lifelong effect and how hard it is to get past it and what you have to do to get past it. And not everybody does. Most people don't. It rewires your brain forever. It gives you trust issues with adults. You don't trust a single adult ever again for the rest of your life. You have authority issues. You don't trust fucking anybody. It breaks you at an age you don't even understand what it's like to be broken. And then it gets buried and it comes out in some other way. And I think there is a huge commonality between that and people ending up in prison, people ending up addicted to drugs and alcohol, that with their addiction. But my God, I'm not going to rat any individual person out. Expose them because you're not supposed to really talk about what goes on in meetings. I'll just say that there's a lot of talk about abuse. Lots of talk about abuse. not just from daddies, from mommies and daddies and teachers and trusted family members and, of course, priests and actors and acting coaches and baseball coaches or female teachers, all walks of life, all walks of life. There's these sickos and the damage it does to a society. And if you want to try to normalize that shit, then that society is over with. It's done. It's done. That's when you know a society is crumbling, when they want to normalize that. And I, last live stream, I briefly told the story when I was at the Pride Parade for the first time because I wanted to see Ian McKellen. He was the Grand Poobah of the 2004 San Francisco Pride Parade. So I wanted to see Gandalf. And who was leading the parade was the guys who rhyme with Rambler, we'll just say. And I left. It was either leave or start throwing shit at them. And I couldn't believe that they were there. So, I asked some of the members of the alphabet community I was with, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing here? And they're like, we don't want them here, but they filed to march. They have every right to march. And it's like, yeah, the free speech issue. Yep. They had every right to be there. They now keep them from that. But at the time, there was also some sentiment that they should be allowed to be there. And I think it's a big deal for the alphabet community to call that out a lot. You might not feel like you need to, and you probably don't, because I don't equate one to the other. But a lot of people will. And that's where we're starting to see it try to get normalized. And Hollywood is exhibit A through Z on that. So when it's just a matter until the next thing happens. We'll wait till the next thing happens because there'll be a next thing. Security Chief Michael Garibaldi, password peekaboo. Uh-oh, I don't know what that means. Hang on. Keller Ranch. I probably should, but I don't catch every reference, but I want to make sure I do. Oh, okay. That's why. Because it's from a show I have yet to watch, Babylon 5. I know. I don't want to hear it. I've seen a few episodes, but not the whole series. And I know you have to see the whole series. I mostly like Michael J. Straczynski, mostly. Hail Gary, I'm cautiously optimistic about DC films and looking forward to Bill and Ted. Hopefully it's fan service done right. Return to tradition for $5. We need an era of fan service, and we need to start it now. And if it's Bill and Ted, fuck yeah. Awesome. Hell yeah. DC films, I am encouraged by a couple of them. The Suicide Squad was by far the best looking thing out of the DC weekend for me. It looks pretty fucking cool. It looks really fucking cool. Then the Snyder Cut got me pretty excited. I know what to expect out of that. I know it's going to be very Zack Snyder, and it looks fun. And it looks like, for one, I do like the director's cut of Batman versus Superman. I think it's a very watchable film. I don't think it's perfect in any way, shape, or form. Jesse Eisenberg is fucking terrible as Lex Luthor. And I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash. But there's other things I do like. As far as the Batman is concerned, the Batman trailer, my mind hasn't changed on that costume, and I will give you another reason why. But I stated it in the trailer reaction. If this was a Batman costume for the first Batman movie that we've gotten in 40 years or something like that, sure, I would take whatever they served up. That's why I was fine with Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton not being able to turn his head. I didn't care because we were getting a goddamn Batman movie. I mean, that was just a victory in itself. We got a superhero movie. Those were, okay, comic books were not respected at all in the early 80s and the late 70s. It wasn't until the 90s when people started respecting them a little bit. So the fact that we were getting a superhero movie at all was a fucking miracle. So I was very happy, and I wasn't going to be judge it too harshly. Plus, I was like 19 when it came out. And I thought I liked Batman Returns. I thought it was cool. I thought that was dark. Then it got crazy. Then Batman and Robin happened. Then Batman Begins came along. So we had our second crack at Batman. I saw the costume. I didn't see a big difference from the Burton costume. By that time, everybody was fucking giving the Burton By the way, this is the way of things. People love it when it comes out. A few years afterwards, people start hating it for some reason. And one of the things they hated was the costume. So what's the first thing they do in Batman Begins? They give him a big black, rubbery, bulky costume again. And I'm like, motherfucker, this is the second try, and you can't get the costume right. Well, it's called Batman Begins. This is the first phase costume. I'm okay. Christian Bale, fucking good. I love the movie. The movie's good. So Dark Knight comes out. By the way, I'm one of the few people on earth who was totally okay with Heath Ledger casting. And if anybody wants to question me on that, go find somebody who's shopped at my comic store. I couldn't shut up about how much I liked it because I saw him in the Brothers Grimm. I did not watch Brokeback Mountain, by the way, but I've seen him. I saw him in the Brothers Grimm and I'm like, he's quirky. He can do it. He's a quirky, like, method actor. And I really like Christian Bale. So then I loved the movie and it came out and that's fine. And then we got, Ben Affleck was cast as Batman and I fucking thought it was terrible. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is dumb. This is fucking retarded. The news came out to my store. They interviewed me and the employee I had there. And we both said, I don't even know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing. But I guess we'll wait and see. I was on the news, so I was like really measured. Shouldn't have been. I should have just brought it. Turns out I ended up liking Ben quite a bit. I ended up liking the costume. I even liked the Batmobile. Yeah, there are things I don't like in the Snyder DCEU, but I really liked Henry Cavill as Superman. He looks like fucking Superman. He is Superman. And Ben Affleck, goddamn, he is Bruce Wayne. He is a good fucking Bruce Wayne and a good Batman. And the costume looked damn good. I have two versions of the Hot Toys. That's how much I like the costume. Comic book accuracy matters. And listen, Iron Man would have been good even if they got the armor wrong, but it wouldn't have been as big of a hit because you had brand identity. And when kids went into the comic store, when Iron Man 1 came out, they saw an Iron Man that looked damn near exactly like the one in the movies. And it did help the comic books and everything. And then Iron Man became one of the biggest superheroes in the world. And now he's in the top 4 or 5. He's right up there with Spider-Man. You got Batman, you got Spider-Man. I would say the most popular in the world is still Spider-Man. Batman, it's arguable. DC, Marvel guys, fight it out. I don't really care. We could say 1A, 1B. Spider-Man, Batman, and then it's Iron Man. Then it's pick an X-Men or something like that after that. Deadpool's up there. Harley Quinn, as far as merchandise is concerned, she can go away as a character permanently as far as I'm concerned after that. But as far as that costume is concerned, it's the 4th fucking try. And it's like we just went back to Batman Begins. We should have a very comic book accurate costume that works for films at this point. And we might get that eventually. That on top of another Christian Bale. Essentially, you got another skinny British actor who might do a great job, but it's not going to be anything much different. Matt Reeves is a competent filmmaker when it comes from when it comes to bad reboot. So I think it'll probably be a pretty decent movie. We'll see. We'll see how the public reacts to it, though. That's what I'm curious about. Are they burned out on Batman? Or is this too many reboots too soon together, or will it make billions of dollars? I am going to say it won't make anywhere near what Nolan's Batman films made. Nowhere near. But it still could be good. And that's what I hope it is. Well, the one thing I hope it's not is filled with identity politics. And the fact that you have Matt Reeves there from Bad Robot brings that up quite a bit. Brings it up quite a bit. And we've already heard a little bit of language that might be hitting to that. So if it doesn't have identity politics, I'll probably end up liking the movie. I'll still hate the costume, but I can still like the movie. Same goes for Batman Begins, because the costume in Batman Begins sucks. It flat out sucks. But I like the Tumbler. I do like the Tumbler. And I like Christian Bale a lot. He's an international treasure and one of the best actors we have. We'll see if Cedric Diggory can do that. I haven't seen it yet. And yes, Batman is a man. He doesn't have to be look like the fucking Hulk, but he's got to look like a man. And the fact that then when they come back, well, it's early. Well, it's early again. Again. We've done this. We've done this. Do something new. Just do something new. Again, it does make a difference. This is the 4th try. And by the way, the last. Stone Dog 1971 for $5. Gary, I just finished watching season 1 and 2 of The Orville. I was reluctant to watch it. Thank you very much for recommending it. You are welcome. Just don't follow Seth MacFarlane on Twitter right now. Wait till the politics are over. The thing I'll tell you about Seth, though, is, he's not a fan of the Orange Man, but he's not a fan of Antifa either. So, and that's where people need to reconcile, because there's people who aren't differentiating now, because the blue cities like Portland and Minneapolis, they're letting that shit happen. They're not doing they could stop it whenever they want. When they broke down the chode up in Seattle, they showed you how quickly they can stop that. They can stop it whenever they want. So they're not stopping it. Why? You know the answer to that, by the way. Oh my. There we go. Bird of Prey 5. Kapla, glad to see the action figures are back. Well, they're not really back. Bird of Prey. This is a green screen, but you know that. Don't worry, mispronouncing my name is not a hate crime. Hurricane Laura is missing Houston, but my wife is making me bring the stuff inside anyway. Well, oh boy, how am I supposed to say that? Skin off Cosine for $5. Bring it in anyway. You know what? Listen to your wife. Listen, it's just easier to bring the shit in and not deal with the shit later that you're going to get. I mean, it might not make sense once in a while, and you got to hold your ground once in a while, choose your battles, but sometimes just do it. Trust me. That comes from a lot of experience. Culture Casino, thank you for the phallic unicorn. Tom said it was not woke, and the daughters are basically Bill and Ted from the original movie, but also trying to connect with them. There are Bill and Ted. Okay. I mean, I'll trust Tom on that one. I'll wait to see it. But why daughters? Why can't we have sons in anything anymore? I agree with what you're saying. You have heard, have you heard the new Jurassic World roller coaster they're building? It looks insane. Yeah. Universal's could take over. Treat your customers right. It's something that Hollywood always has taken you for granted, fandom. They don't understand you. They will never understand you. The people in charge to this very day are uber rich elite bankers. So they don't travel in our world. They think they're not even aware that many adults are in fandom. They still think fandom is essentially like kids, when it's the vast majority is adults, right? So they can't get their head around how adults could like kid stuff in their eyes. And that's the way they see it. They are so fucking detached because they travel on a different plane of existence than we do. That's a class thing. Just saw both Suicide Squad movie and game trailer. I'm actually pretty stoked about them. But if you told me that the game trailer was the movie, then I'll brave the Indiana wasteland in my plaque doctor gear to see it. Yep. Oh my God, Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. Fuck. That pretty much had me there, right there. As soon as I saw Capaldi, I was ready to fucking go. Joey Bryant, thank you for the $20. And it looks like most of them are going to die, which is pretty funny. Lee Townsend, thank you for the joining at the proto-molecule level. Gary, how am I supposed to keep watching Sky Q if I stop paying my TV license? Jonathan Aldridge for £5. There's ways. I cannot recommend any of them, though. That would be wrong. More likely that Feige has a cucumber named Brie. Judo Cricket. For $5, you're probably right. Hey. Sarah B for $5. Hail, Gary. Love the green screen. Tomorrow I'll be old like you. Central Coast native, but considering Cal exit. Most of my friends have left already. Yeah, mine have too. Most of mine have too. Although there's some holdouts down here in Encinitas. They're never going to leave. But yeah. Well, happy birthday, Sarah B. And I hope you make your Cal exit soon. The Jester of Sin for £5. I can honestly say I haven't paid the TV license since my divorce 15 years ago. Haven't missed it, and I'll never pay again. Hashtag defund the BBC. Yes. Sorry about the divorce. I had a divorce too. They're not fun. Have you seen Cursed yet? No, and I won't. Hans von Butterdutch for $2. You mean the Whammon King Arthur tale? I didn't say, but I can't. Looks like Alter Carbon was canceled by Netflix, says Butterbiscuit92 for $2. Yeah, you'd think they had a great first season with Joel Kinnaman, and Steve Blackman was writing. He also wrote Umbrella Academy. And then they decided to go woke, and nobody watched the show. Are you surprised? Nope. And it was like the first season was teetering on woke anyway. I was like, God, there was some cool shit in there that outweighed some of the little woke things. God, the visuals were outstanding in the first season. Outstanding. But that's Netflix. We had one good season. That means we have a mandate now, right? We had one good season, so that gave us a mandate to get as political as we want in the second season, and we won't alienate anybody, right? It shows Netflix is still new to this fucking party. You know, they're dominant, but they're fucking new and they're dumb. The binge model will end up being their undoing. You see Amazon's going away from it. I fucking told you so. I told you so. This is the new era of entertainment. You are now going to, God, dare I say, and not me, you're going to have to rely on social media for your free promotion for your TV show. And The Expanse made the dumbest fucking move possible by dropping their season all at once. Amazon, you retards. We tried to tell you. And nobody, I get somebody popping in once in a while asking about The Expanse, like once in a while. And you want to know why it feels like it's been so long since you've seen The Expanse? It's because they dropped it all at once. It really hasn't been that long. It's only been a few months, but they dropped it all at once. If they had released it weekly, it would have felt like it had been with you for a while, and it wouldn't feel like it was gone so long. That time between seasons is going to feel like an eternity when you drop your... Dropping The Witcher all at once was flat out dumb. Just flat out dumb. You can binge it later. You can always binge it later. Yeah, The Witcher would have probably been confusing as hell. Doesn't matter. Henry Cavill, shirt off, women there, people watch. That's it. And Yennefer ended up being like hotter than we expected. Let's be real about that. She was in it too much. I totally agree. It was the Yennefer show, but I liked it. But when you drop it all at once, you might as well make it a movie, you know? Yeah. You guys don't even, like fucking Star Wars was 3 years apart. If you're a prequel fan and you're a kid, that must have felt like forever, because it felt like forever in 1977, between that and Empire Strikes Back. Yes, let your pain sustain me, says Faz Ajido. I will try. Welcome to the Jaloja level. Return to tradition. I appreciate it. Hopefully, if my pain can sustain you, that's good. At least it's good for something. Nail Dorley, welcome to the Geloja level. And Pro Kaza for 140 Zardazes, which is a South African it's like $1. Hi, Gary, random black fan from South Africa. Awesome. We have been cut out for years on this side. Most of us feel very little for U.S. politics. And when politics becomes the focus, well, the fandom is worldwide silent majority. I don't know. Those of us who just want Star Wars to be for everyone, those of us who just want Star Trek to be for everyone and to be fun. See, if you make it fun, that automatically takes out the more alienating portions of the politics. If you just make it fun, because most politics aren't fun, especially partisan politics. So I don't know. But the unity part, again, we're going to have to revisit that in a few months because this is nothing new. The country goes through cycles. We are in an election cycle. This is a hyper election cycle, probably the first hyper election cycle we've ever really seen, or one in living memory, we'll say, since like the Civil War. Okay. And people are in their fucking corners right now with their heels dug in. And can you blame them? And the thing is, though, you're seeing people go to sides, and they would never go to that side normally because they were forced to. I'm saying things out loud like, I'm not moving to a blue city or a blue state. Are you fucking kidding me? I'd have to be an idiot to do that. Why would I do that? Why would I leave this state to just go to another blue state and experience the same bullshit? Well, they kind of have a beef. The people burning down your business right now. I'm sorry, my hands are tied as a partisan politician. We have to think about the party in the election. And if your business gets sacrificed, well, just think it's for the greater good. And you didn't deserve that business anyway because you're white. Fuck off. In the unkindest way, get fucked in every orifice of your body. I will not move to a blue city or a blue state. I can try to be as understanding as I can up until a certain point. I don't feel responsible for any of this shit. I didn't vote any of these fuckers in. I am not responsible for any of the policy here in California. I just live my life and mind my own business. But if it turns to shit, I'm not going to sit there and go, well, I got to think about, being reasonable on that. Fuck reasonable. I was reasonable. We played by the rules. We followed the laws. But apparently, we're the bad guy now. So be it. I'm going to go be the bad guy somewhere else. I'll defund your ass. Hi, Gary. I already read that one. Yes. No. I went backwards on this one. Culture Casino, what's up? Great intro. 2 questions, though. 1, is that a Spitfire you are piloting? Yes. Isn't the Roman numeral copyright date wrong? 2022 or 1922? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. He doesn't need to get it right, Fred. It's okay. Maybe it's supposed to be 1922. Maybe I have a copyright since then, Fred. Did you know that? Fat Steven Seagal beat up Alex Kurtzman for 2 Canadian pesos. Alex Kurtzman career is a short trek. Hashtag Henson Muppet. Awesome. Yes, Perry, if you're watching and you're sitting there going, somebody's getting me on the Roman numeral number, welcome to the internet. Jason Cannon for $2. Gary, when are you going to have some swag available? Very soon. Soon as the move is complete. We have a swag center right outside my office. We've got this whole section that we're going to start getting the swag together, and there's going to be more information on that very, very soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So pay attention to my website, nerdrotic.com, and Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. That's where Mrs. Nerdrotic is. Denny Ringus for $6.99 Canadian. What do you think is going to happen with Doctor Who now the timeline is messed up? It's an entropy right now, and it will just After this season, it will collapse. The fandom will collapse. What's up, Quarter Black? I saw you in there. Get fucked in every orifice. That's the quote of the year. Thanks, Quarter Black. You can have it, buddy. So what's going to happen to Doctor Who? It is going to, like I said, it's in entropy right now, and it's just gonna go away. It's gonna fade away. The fandom is broken. They have been desperate with Big Finish. They're trying to get Tennant back. They got fucking Eccleston back. Eccleston came back, and it was met with a yay. You remember Tom Slick? Remember the cartoon Tom Slick? No? Nobody remembers Tom Slick? He's like a racer. And the crowd and Tom Slick, every time he'd win a race would be all, yay. That's the reaction to Chris Eccleston coming back to Doctor Who. That's how bad things have gotten. It's just like with Star Trek. There's a mediocre cartoon episode of a Star Trek show, and Star Trek fans all of a sudden start going, you're a hater because you didn't like something that was like averagely bad. No, it was averagely bad, but it wasn't as bad as the other stuff. It's still bad. That's where we are in fandom. Now we have Kathleen Kennedy actually second guessing herself way too fucking late. And Star Wars is going to take another step back. It's taken so many step backs. You know what? I would just be happy if it took one step forward once. So Doctor Who is dead. It will linger on in books and comic books and Big Finish because there's just a hardcore set of fans who will never go away, and God bless them. There's enough Doctor Who stuff that I haven't read or listened to that lasts me for a long, long time. I don't know about the rest of my life, but for a good few years. I just bought the physical collection of Big Finish's first 107 or so stories because I only had them digitally. So I wanted to get the hard copies. I found them very cheap. I have a method that I use. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm frugal when it comes to eBay, but I'll get like bulk stuff if it's worth it. That was worth it. Some good news. Doomcock just reached 200,000 subscribers. Well, hail Doomcock. Well done. Well done. Awesome. Doomcock hit 200,000. Congratulations. Josiah Rises hit 100,000, which was, that's awesome for Doomcock. Josiah was remarkable. He was at 30,000 subs a month or two ago, and he's at 100,000. That's almost, that's about as fast as I hit it. That's fucking awesome, dude. By the way, I haven't checked. Hang on. Where's my phone? Oh, we'll check over here. We're awfully close to 270 here. Made me think about it. Nah, we got about 70 to go. 70 to go till 270,000 here. So congrats to Doomcock, though. Good job, buddy. Fubix effed up beyond even Kurtzman standards. MK31 for $2. What's a Fubix? I don't know what that is. Beyond even Kurtzman standards. Kurtzman has no standards. I'll be very happy. It's going to be awesome. I'll be able to join Doomcock this Sunday, and we will celebrate it on his channel for the Inquisition at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. But hail Doomcock. Well earned. Well earned. And Josiah. Both of them. Fucking awesome. Black Knight for 50 Czechoslovakian dollars. Hello from Bohemia. Viacom CBS is owned by Summer Redstone. It's him who forces SJW hateful agenda of division into Star Trek. He is the final boss. I don't know if he's aware of where he is, though. Now, it might be his daughter. I could believe that, but he is like as old as dirt. I don't know if he would understand that. Jennifer Sisko, welcome to the Jaloja level. Thank you. No Limit Brian for $4.99. Star Trek 09 Star Trek came out, and I went with a friend, and it was so bad she walked me outside, and we got in the car and got me out. I got to read that again. No Limit Brian. '09 Star Trek came out and I went with a friend and it was so bad. She walked me outside and we banged in the car. It got me out of the friend zone. Okay. Well, No Limit Brian. That's good. At least it worked for something. It's like, oh, fuck this movie. Let's just shag. Okay. My mom was unwell at the time and I'm looking after her. She confessed to never seeing Deep Space Nine. We now are watching in the evenings. Hail True Star Trek, says Bearded Warrior for £5. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I hope she's well. And, maybe it'll keep her mind off things because that's what it's supposed to be, is escapism. I hope she gets better. Monty Bond, welcome to the Jaloja level. I appreciate it. Louis the Plank for $2. Yep. When I see Gary, I think Glenn Beck. LOL. Right. That's me. That's me. Young Ripa and I mean, his politics are pretty close to mine. Very, very close to mine. Oh, what I was talking about earlier. Let's see how much time we got. All right. We got time. So there is a Gavin McGinnis video out there. By the way, Gavin McGinnis gets a bad rap. I've been listening to him for a long time. Gavin McGinnis is an old punk rocker like yours truly. And Gavin McGinnis and pretty much rolled with probably the same crowd I did, although he knew more famous people and had more money and probably much better drugs. But I grew up in the punk scene in Southern California. So what I remember is we fought Nazi skinhead punks all the time. We fucking hated them. We also hated communism because we were kind of pseudo anarchists. We didn't want to be told what to do. We hated everything about the system. We hated everything about, we didn't like cops. We didn't care if people were really gay. It didn't bother us. Didn't think about it that much. Didn't think about racial issues that much. I was in Southern California and I was listening to music. I was getting high and getting into fights all the fucking time. And, we got along with the Mexican gangs pretty well. You wanted to do that because it would probably not go well for you if you didn't. But we did. Had a good relationship with them, hung out, partied sometimes. Things were fine. Things were great. But we didn't like Nazi skinheads and we didn't like cops. And we really like free expression. And in Gavin's video, he starts explaining what the punk rockers were in the 80s and how it molded into now, and he does something very clever in it. He's all, well, there's transgenderism now. We're having our children identify as women at ages that are way too early. And then he brings up, why don't you want your kid to be gay? Because that's probably what's happening is your kid might be gay. It's no big deal. Let your kid be a boy and be gay. That's fine. But now we're having them transition and giving them hormones way too early. It's a great video. If you look at the nuance of it, it's really well done. By the end of it, though, it's called I'm Not a Conservative, but then he becomes a conservative at the end because he starts realizing, and I don't know necessarily if a conservative would agree with this, but, if you look at things now, the people fighting for free expression, which includes identifying however you want as an adult, which includes not really being down with the state and totalitarianism, because how could you be an anarchist and a Marxist at the same time? How could you be a punk rocker who wants to follow rules and you're all for the system? How could you be against the police, but you're for a system which will police you in everything, in absolutely everything? How could you want to break down the police, but then be for the state? Because that's not what they're about. This is all like bullshit and lies. And part of this is, especially when Hollywood brings it up, they're just dumb. They're just too fucking dumb to understand it. Or they believe, a lot of them don't have time to sit through and work things out. Like no Hollywood celebrity would sit through a live stream ever. A 3-hour, 4-hour. They wouldn't have time for you. They wouldn't have that kind of time for you or me. And they would come in for like a half an hour and they go like, you really do that stuff for 6 hours? It's like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'll talk to people for 6 hours. What's wrong with that? But they're way too busy. And so they don't have time for that nuance, to think about things, but it's a really good video. It's a really good video. And it really shows you like how things have flipped on their fucking head. And I honestly, I didn't see this one coming when I was a teenager. Yep, Gary. Is that why California has forest fires? Denny Rings. Kind of like California has forest fires for the same reason forests have forest fires. You need to cleanse the ground once in a while. Monologi Robotech. Oh, Robotech for 25. What's a PLN? I'm not sure. Oh, it's Polish. That's right. Did you see the Polish movie The Hater on Netflix? No, I didn't. Alex H for 5 rubles. Gary, you complained in the Game of Thrones show that their decision to kill the twins' character Tywin's character on the toilet, even though that's the way he originally dies in the books. No, I didn't complain that he dies on the toilet. I just pointed out that he dies in the toilet. No, Alex, the reason I complained was because Mahler brought up the motivation of Tyrion. But no, if you actually look at it, that is George R. R. Martin shitting on the patriarchy. It's just he tells good stories. But if you look at all his messaging, he just took the baddest ass in Westeros and had him die on the toilet. He took Conan the Barbarian and had him die of gangrene, essentially. Getting in a stupid fight with one of his friends and getting stabbed and ends up getting killed. He has Ned Stark die out of, at least it was loyalty, but he was dumb. All the white male characters are eradicated for the most part. And all the patriarchal characters. Now everybody loves Tywin. Tywin loves him. George had him die in the fucking toilet. And then he shat all over himself. But we liked it because it was done in a good way, in a believable way. George doesn't sacrifice character for themes. So the reason I complained about the show was, and Mahler had to bring this up, was they took out Tysha, Tyrion's wife. They really took her out of the story. And if you, I won't go over it now, but look into Tysha, Tyrion's wife. And if you read that and you just watched the show and you didn't understand like what her part was in it, you would understand why Tyrion shot his father. Because if you think about it in the show, he shouldn't have shot him. His dad said, I'm going to send you to the wall. I don't want to kill you. It was just politics. Now he got mad that Shay was in there, but Shay was a freaking whore. He knew Shay was a whore. No, it was Tysha who made him kill fucking his dad. Because his dad goes, wherever whores go. And then fucking Tyrion repeats that over and over again in Dance with Dragons. And it's better. I just sent it to your Gary at Nerdrotic account. Thank you, Modalicious. We'll check it out in just a second. Oh, bless you, Modalicious. Alport Guy for £5. Hail, just got back from watching Tenet on the big screen and it was amazing. Nice to see a movie that was focused on story first. I can't wait to fucking see it. That's good to hear. Get Black Rifle coffee and make your own. Much better than Starbucks or anything like that. Well, Starbucks is pure desperation. I generally don't. And I do have a bag of Black Rifle. Thank you, Judo Cricket. Fandom Guard for $4.99. There are 12 law firms looking at suing Netflix if they put it on there. Gary, did you hear about that? And what's my friend's, one of them is my friend's law firm. He owns it. Good. Go fucking get him. Stop this shit. It's fucking creepy. And it needs to fucking end. It needs to end. There, you know what? For every victim of child abuse like that, who comes out and says something, there is 1,000 who don't. And it's everywhere. Everywhere. Jedi Nightwing for $5. Hail, Gary. Recently picked up some old Marvel Transformers comics. Awesome. And can't remember what bags and boards you recommend. I recommend My Lights. My Lights. I don't have any right here. They're like this. They're shiny. Oh, look at the male Captain Marvel. Yeah, he was a man. Remember when he was a man? Yeah. As a French dude, sorry for cuties. Can't agree more with you on that. Keep up spreading common sense. Got exam tomorrow. Wish you luck. Well, oh my God. Les pagargues et tete blanche. No offense to all French. Hashtag not all. I've been to your country and it was pretty brilliant. Thanks, man. Get back to school. Start studying now. When they remake the X-Men Wolverine, better be in a damn suit. Darth Bredicus for $5. He might be in a suit, but he's going to be really skinny, and he might be Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, Expelliarmus. As of yesterday, there were only 2 states who have given money in accordance with the executive order, 2 out of 50 states. Many haven't gotten money since the boost ended in July, says Butterbiscuit for $2. Good. Gary, I urge you to binge watch Babylon 5, then do a review. You won't regret it. Oh, I know I won't, Joseph Nash. Thank you. I will eventually. Thank you for the $5. And I will do that. The Maxer 03 for $1.49 and a phallic unicorn. Thank you very much. Glad to join the fight, Gary, making it real once more. Oh, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Lee Townsend for 10 pounds. Carlos Batista for $5. Have some money for the food for the gods. Oh, do you mean a carne asada burrito, Carlos? Is that what you mean? Because yes. C. Liger fan, welcome to the Geloja member level of the memberships. Words not working. Just joined the stream. Sorry if it's already been addressed. Where's the Exit Cali video? Also, bring back the Exozone. The Exit Cali video it's in process. I made one and I didn't like it, so I got rid of it, and then I'm making a new one. And listen, it's probably not going to do well. YouTube is definitely not going to like what I'm talking about. Probably some of the audience who normally subscribe to me are not going to like what I'm talking about, but I got to get it off my chest. But listen, it's always mostly going to be about pop culture, so don't worry. By the way, Razor Fist Friday. Razor fucking Fist. Jonathan Aldridge for £5 twice. I don't think you meant to do that. Hi, Gary. Have you seen the Kingsman films? Yes. I am venting my frustration at Kurtzman Kirk to Khan style. Yeah. I got you. And then fuck Kurtzman. And the first Kingsman is great. GRRM is not Tolkien. No. George R. R. Martin is Tolkien's bitch. I would argue that George R. R. Martin is J.K. Rowling's bitch. My TARDIS rules for $5 Australian, and it's a pink TARDIS. Hey, hi Gary, have you seen the Kingsman films? I just read that one. You put that one in I don't think you meant it. You gave £15 there. I wish I could refund you. I think that's a phone thing. Sometimes you put in too many. Sorry about that. Love the Kingsman, Jonathan, and that's where we're going to end right now. But first, we're going to take a look and see if my soundbite. That's crazy. I don't know why I just had that Wikipedia thing up, but oh well. I wasn't paying attention. Let's roll out on that. Let's see if it's here. Going to the Gmail to see if Modalicious sent me that sound bite. So I appreciate that. That would be awesome. There it is. Do you have a timestamp on that, Modalicious? Oh, gotcha. You are in a compilation around 38 minutes and 10 seconds to 4. Okay, guys, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but I'm going to show some fucking Alex Jones. Let's do it. Thanks, Modalicious. God bless you. 38 minutes. And And you should be able to hear the sound. So we're going to start at 38. Oh, boy.
Our economy. Oh, but now they want to stop the virus and control it. But it'll never be controlled because it false positives with the regular cold virus or a bacterial infection of the flu. It's a perfect enemy you can't see, you can't really detect, you can't ever stop. And they're telling everyone to make your children, your 2-year-olds wear them. First it's 6-year-olds and 2-year-olds to get on airplanes or go outside. It's a cult. Stop conforming. They tell you
it's a cult.
Pro-police rallies. You can't have an NRA rally in New York last week, but you can have the MTV Awards, and there's no quarantine for that. Come on into the state. It's all about control. So here's the key. Big article up on Infowars.com. Similar headlines in the New York Times. UN food chief warns famine of biblical proportions looms over humanity due to COVID-19. You mean due to the lockdown, due to the hoax, due to the shutdown that sends ripple effects where in the third world they pay roughly half their paycheck for food. And so when we shut down, they starve.
I can't get it any higher.
And it goes over the numbers. The COVID-19 hysteria pandemic may lead to a calamity of epic scale with millions facing starvation worldwide. The head of the UN's hunger fighting body, even though they're the ones triggering it all, said all the data we have, including World Food Program forecast that the number of people experiencing malnutrition will grow by 80% by the end of the year, points to real disaster, said David Beasley.
I'm going to speed it up.
UN World Food Program. We actually went to the UN World Food Program numbers here, and there's an estimated last numbers they got 822 million people who in just the last few decades have starved to death. And if you look at the numbers in here, they estimate that around 9
I didn't hear anything, Modalicious. I didn't hear anything. Maybe Modalicious just wanted to hear some Alex Jones on the Nerdrotic Nooner. I'll go find the clip if I can find it, but I checked at the 38-minute mark to 40-minute mark, and it did not come up, but that's okay. That's fine. We're going to wrap this one up, folks, and when I upload this, I'll keep Alex Jones in. I don't give a fuck. I fucking like Alex Jones. Did I just see Young Ripa? What the fuck? Young Ripa, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Oh, hang on a second. Jesus Christ. Got this guy coming in here. Jesus Christ. Dude, I am getting the hell out of California. Fuck California. And dude, $100, man. That is fucking awesome. Everybody, Young Ripa, one of the best YouTubers on the planet and one of the best political pundits going out there right now. The only guy who really knows what the fuck is going on. Please subscribe to his channel. I want you to make new channels to subscribe to his channel. Thank you, Young Ripa. It is an honor to even have you here, brother. So thank you. And I'm getting the fuck out. Hope you received UK Avengers DVD before you left us. I did. Peppermint oil capsule. I did. And I'll watch it. Thank you for the £2. And hey, Gary, okay. So thumbs up from NG1T for $3. And again, $100 from Young Ripa. And you got to see some Alex Jones on YouTube. Fuck yeah, that's cool. I didn't hear my thing though. I didn't hear any sound bite. So maybe it's at a different timestamp. It depends. I'll find it and we'll it's okay. Modalicious, don't worry about it, dude. It's all good. What are you talking about? Negative 38 minutes from the end. Who gives a timestamp like that, Modalicious? Just tell me the time. Not 38 minutes from the end. Nobody identifies that. Hang on. Minus 38 minutes from the end. Dude, you are smoking something in your avatar there. 38 minutes from the end. So you want me to do math now? So the total time of the episode was 25 minutes. All right. So we're going to go 25 and then I got to go another, and you said 38, right? So another 13 minutes from here. Let's go. Be 48. We'll say 48. Right.
The article Infowars.com. Hypocrisy. Governor Cuomo to exempt celebrities from quarantine to attend.
Or we could just watch Alex Jones at double speed. That's kind of awesome.
Some churches can't be open. Synagogues can't be open. Mosques can't be open. A couple weeks ago, they were in an NRA-sponsored deal with the police with Ted Nugent and a member of Congress, and Cuomo said, do not fly in or I will lock you up for 14 days under our quarantine law. But MTV can do what they want because it's all about the power. It's all about the control. Meanwhile, everywhere I go, I shake people's hands. Most people are awake now that I've run into, but I still get the F you Russian agent, you're going to prison, you're going to die, we're going to get you, we're going to get your family. Roger Stone just texted me this. Pastor believes church vandalized because of scheduled Roger Stone appearance. And in the news, the local TV, W.
I got to see that clip again. Is he going to eat? I'll eat your ass, man. I'll straight up eat my neighbor's ass. Here, I'll see if I can find it. There we go. Oh my God, that is some disturbing shit. Do I want to see that? Okay, I found it. Oh, dude. All right, here we go.
And we learn that people are funded by Democrats. But once people bought into a con because they want to feel special,
Like me, more comfortable to sing it.
and the one that gets up on a table spreads their
Fuck.
legs like a man. This is adult entertainment. But what predators do? They target children.
Start them young, right?
Breaking news, we have just confirmed that a registered child sex offender has been reading to children at a Houston Public Library as part of its drag queen story hour.
Shake your butt, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em.
What alternate universe is this? What planet did I wake up in?
What has this world come to? Some people consider it provocative. It's not inappropriate.
Family programming. Love it.
There is now a push to normalize pedophilia.
This is going to be marketed to children. It's going to sexualize children. It's going to tell girls they can be boys, boys they can be girls. And it's the same kids that they just forced to watch the Cardi B
Fuck.
softcore porn video. And so this is just a big demonic exercise.
It make me feel liberated right here on her privates. And if you push those, she makes these sounds.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Now, does anybody in this room know how to twerk?
I couldn't even get through one episode of Big Mouth. I mean, it's literally children having the raunchiest, most
Yep.
disgusting, sexually oriented conversation.
Meow, meow. Who's got the cream?
Me, I've got the cream.
It will never be okay as much as Hollywood wants it to be.
Under MK
Hey!
experimented on
I made it on Alex Jones. I can die now. Oh my God. I can't wait to tell my mom, who will not understand a thing because she doesn't even know I'm on YouTube. But fuck yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, Modalicious. And that was some creepy shit. Now I am fucking really disturbed. Holy shit. Yeah, we got a fucking problem, ladies and gentlemen, on this fucking planet. And that is a fucking problem. And the fact that YouTube. Okay, if you demonetize it, I get it. I get why advertisers wouldn't want to touch this shit. I wouldn't want to be near this shit either. But do not suppress it if people are calling it out. You allow people to call it out. That is the good thing to do. That is being on the right side of history, because normalizing that fucking shit is evil. Is fucking evil. And all we have to do is line up 10 or 12 or 20 victims of that type of abuse, because there's plenty out there, and it's permeated through a lot of our institutions, and they are protected by a lot of unions. Unions protect Fredos. I know this for a fact. And that can be a Screen Actors Guild or a teachers union or a Teamsters union. They all protect them. You know what? My story's out there. It's on my AA story, on my Nerdrotic Live. I don't know. It's not the most fun thing you've ever heard, believe me. But teachers unions are evil because they protect a lot of teachers, and they just relocate them. That's why you never hear about anything. It's amazing. We heard a lot of stuff about the Boy Scouts. We heard a lot of stuff about the Catholic Church. Not saying that shit wasn't real, because it was real. It was fucked up. But we never hear anything from a public school, unless it's like Hot for Teacher, unless it's like some hot teacher and some 14-year-old kid. which is still fucking wrong, by the way. Sorry. As a 14-year-old kid, I probably would have loved it. As a dad of a 14-year-old kid, I wouldn't fucking love it. I wouldn't even like it. So, yeah, we're going to end on that. So, awesome. Modalicious, thank you, brother. Thank you. I fucking need to refund all your super chats, man. That was fucking awesome. That was awesome. I made it on Alex Jones. That is great. Okay, and we'll end with MK Ultra on the screen. Oh, you can't see it. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. But thank you all for showing up. Let me see if make sure I don't want to leave any super chats behind. If I did leave any behind, by the way, they will be in the Square Up, which I'm recording tonight. So, which is going to be Uber, because I got a Friday Night Tights to get through and a couple of Nerdrotic Nooners. By the way, Lady Greenmaster had to take the day off. She had some stuff, but she still did a great job preparing me for this show. She is doing a great job, and she's still in training, and I can't thank her enough. She is fucking in. And you know what? Here's a lesson for you on the way out the door. She wanted the job. Because I put the word out. I'm like, I need a producer, and I know some people showed interest, and I don't mean that, no disrespect. I love anybody who showed interest, but I needed somebody with experience, and it's hard to have experience in a job like this. Quarter Black Garrett will know because we're making it up as we go. She sent me a 4-page fucking resume, and she sent me a pre-made schedule. She like anticipated shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to hire this person. I have to hire this person. And she's been a blessing, a fucking blessing, because I mean, shit, this is a lot of work, man. It's fun work. I'm not like breaking my back or anything. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I just I keep missing messages from you guys, and she is really going to help with that. So thank you. Sorry to all the missed messages. Thank you for all the super chats. Love you guys. Young Rippa, subscribe to Young Rippa, subscribe to Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. -38. By the way, Modalicious, I wish I could return that to you. I was just giving you shit, by the way. I love you, man. Emailed you the 25-point plan from the group. That's right up your alley. Chubby Pepe titled it Exozone Fodder. Okay. And listen, we're going to go deep. We're going into this subject on the Exozone. It's going to get dark. Shit is going to get dark on the Exozone, but be ready for the next one. Congrats on making it on Alex Jones. LOL. I know, right? 52 movies a year for $4.99. Tom, I'll talk to you after the show, like a couple hours. I need to go out and get a burrito, but then I'll call you. Here is some cash for the demonetized video. It's demonetized. It's going to be gone pretty soon. Alfred McKay, thank you for the $1.99 Canadian, and DVD just hit 200,000. I heard Chris Knight. Congrats, man. Yeah. Nicholas Horton told me. Congratulations. Congratulations to my good friend, Dictor Van Doomcock, for a well-earned 200,000 subscribers. Well done. Congratulations to Young Rippa on all of his success. He has had a hell of a year, and it's not even over yet. Go watch his channel. If you want to know what's up, he'll tell you. Okay? And we'll have him back on. Love you, man. And again, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Check them out. Pioneers in this Phantom Menace. And also Josiah Rises hit 100,000 subscribers in one of the most remarkable. I mean, he's still rising. He's going to pass me up pretty soon. A couple of more Tom Hanks videos, and he's fucking gone. Yeah. So, and yeah, that shit's creepy, by the way. Creepy. So I don't know if I'm going to hit any of it. I don't know if it gets any creepier. I might. Fuck it. But goddamn, Josiah, you're doing a great job. I couldn't be more proud of you. And Ryan, RK Outpost, they're doing a great job too. So thanks for all the super chats. Thanks, Lori Wilson. Thank you, Perry Chan, for the fucking brilliant opening, which we'll end with, by the way. We're going to end with that opening. Thank you again, Young Rippa. Thank you for all the wrenches. Eric K., you're beautiful, man. And not all who wander are lost. And let's go. Oh, what's that? Rebecca Gold. I see some Rebecca Gold. Hey, mate, have a few coffees on me. Going to bed now. We'll watch the rest tomorrow. If I can it'll be on Nerdrotic Live, and we'll have to put up with all the ads. But hey, I got rid of the ads, dude. I saw you whinging about it on Twitter, and I remove the mid rolls. The only reason there's a bunch of ads now is if somebody copyright claims it and put it in. But no, I know there is no mid rolls in my live streams. And if there is, I want to know about it because I manually remove them now. So you don't have to deal with them because I saw you talking about it. And listen, I do okay on this channel. I don't want to be pissing you guys off. And YouTube changed the system. So now they did this 8-minute thing and they started like just pumping all their videos full of ads. And I didn't know because I have YouTube, Premium or whatever. So I don't see ads. And a bunch of you guys told me like it was Ian, and I got a bunch of emails going, dude, what's up with the ads? I'm like, what ads? They're all mid rolls. I don't put any mid rolls in my videos. And I look and YouTube was putting mid rolls in my video. So that shit's over with now. It's done. So I apologize. But if you do see them, let me know, or Lady Greymaster. I want to know about it because I physically click the box to make sure it doesn't happen. I don't need it that much, man. So thank you all. I will see you tomorrow, and let's go out with some Perry Chan. Little Perry.
Nerdrotic.com.
Ooh, good night. Good night.